Testing the audio. Audio testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. It looks like we are live. I think we're live now. Okay. Just check what's going on here. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the live stream. Let me know if the music ever gets too loud at any point. I'm just in my office working, trying to get some things done on Goobuddies. I've got a list of things that I'd like to accomplish today, so hope you have some fun. If you're here to hang out, I just published a new video just a minute or two ago, so okay. Welcome. I hope we have some fun. Hey, Matt Carter, what's up? It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm just working on Goobuddies today. I'm started the stream 4 minutes late. Was trying to get the thumbnail done for the video. I just posted a video explaining why Pokemon Legends is not compatible with the older games in the series when you send a Pokemon to Pokemon Home. So if you guys hadn't heard, if you're a fan of Pokemon, if you take a Pokemon from the older games like Scarlet and Violet, if you send them into Legends ZA, you won't be able to bring them back. So I just posted a video explaining why. It has to do with basically the Legends ZA, the Pokemon have more save data in them. Anyway, I just posted that literally a second ago. Good to see everyone. What? I don't know who Breakhouse is, but this is, I don't know, someone's harassing me here, so let's go ahead and I don't know what kind of weird harassment this is. Let's go ahead and just report this person. Uh, yeah, I'm getting spammed. Yeah, let's go ahead and just report this person for, I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I get weird, I don't know who these people are, but the internet is weird, man. Uh, yeah, yeah, let's just go ahead and clean this out. So yeah, today we're gonna work on Goobuddies. Um, there's a bunch of features that I would like to implement here. A lot of it is still I'm working on the menus and things like that. Hey Matt, Matt Carter, would you mind if I add you as moderator? Let's see. Matt, if you don't mind, I'll just add you as moderator, and then if anyone comes in with weird spam and whatnot. Yeah, like was it 2 years ago when I was doing the final games for the Wii U and 3DS? I literally dedicated like 2 weeks nonstop just giving out copies of my games to people for free. And I told people right off the bat, I said, look, I have a very limited number of copies that I could give out for free. And I was just trying to cheer people up because people were angry about the 3DS and the Wii U shops shutting down. And that's why I made an arrangement with Nintendo to make some final games for the Wii U and 3DS. And then I got attacked, just bombarded. And it's the same kind of thing that we just saw with this person spamming us with weird harassment messages. And I just got harassed for like 2 weeks nonstop because I ran out of codes of my games to give out. There's a very limited number of free copies of your games you could give out, and I gave out around $26,000 worth of my games for free for people. I said, no questions asked. If you want a copy of my game, just send me a message, DM me. But I said I will run out of copies, and then for 2 weeks nonstop, I just got harassed by people like that. They were spamming my community. They were spamming me here in DMs and on YouTube. They were saying the nastiest things. They were just so disgusting. It's just like the person that was just here spamming the chat a second ago. So I don't know why people are like that. Um, Especially when, back when the 3DS and Wii U was closing, I took hours and hours and hours out of my day because I have to manually process every request and give people free copies of my games, and then people were so nasty to say, well, I didn't get a copy of your game. And so I don't know, people made it a vendetta to just harass and attack me. They were just like leaving the nastiest, weirdest messages. Okay. Yeah, we're getting more of that. Yeah. I don't know what's up with these people. Hey, Steve Cakes, what's up? Yeah, Matt, I've made you a moderator if you don't mind. If you wouldn't mind, I'm just managing because we're getting some spam here today. Yeah, these people, I don't know who these are. There's, yeah, no, some channels just sent their, they have young and impressionable audiences, and they sent their audiences a couple of months ago to make fun of my friends that had died of cancer recently. Um, yeah, and I don't know why YouTubers do that, but they just wanted to have a laugh, and they just wanted to make fun of my friends that had died of cancer recently. So yeah, I don't know, man. The internet's weird. I don't really use it that much, so I don't fully understand it. Hex, you made your own game. Awesome. Did you ever Nexamon? Oh, I've been watching a lot of Gym Leader Ed. I've been watching a lot about Nexamon. I haven't played Nexamon yet. Hey, Mojave Knight, what's up? Yeah, so there were just two people here that were just in the chat that were spamming. Those are. Please don't be mean to those people. I don't want those people to get harassed. They came here to harass me. They're obviously very young people, and their audiences. They came from someone's YouTube channel, and other YouTube channels sent their young and impressionable audiences to make fun of my friends that had died of cancer. I think it's something that's fun for young people to do. So I'm not, I've never said anything negative to those people. If they want to do that, when you're young, you just find something fun to do. I'm not offended. I personally don't care. But you got to maintain the vibe for the channel. So I don't know why people think that's funny to make fun of people dying of cancer, but that's something other YouTube channels are doing right now is just sending their audiences to make fun of my friends and whatever. So what I want to do first, so let's go ahead and run this. Yeah, you saw those comments. I recommend getting Nexamon. Let's just look it up really quick. Is that on Steam or is it on Switch? Nexamon. Okay, hold on. We have Nexamon plus Nexamon Extinction. Okay, so it is on Switch, and then we'll look it up for Steam as well. Whoa, what? It's on sale right now? So is Nexamon a full game or is it DLC or what? Oh, Nexamon Extinction is the full game. Yeah, you know what? I'll grab that later. That's on sale. I'm gonna grab Nexamon. I'll grab it later. I'll try that. Thanks, Emerson SSBB. That's on sale. Yeah, guys. If you're interested, you know what? I'll put that on screen again. If you guys are interested, I haven't played this, but I've seen Gym Leader Ed talking about it a lot. He really likes the game. It's on sale. That's Australian, so it's going to be $1 or something right now. That's pretty rad. I'm gonna grab that later and give it a go on Steam. Yeah, thanks, Matt Parker. I'm a solo developer. I develop games on my own. Is there a membership only Discord server? No. And there's other people that manage that because I'm not good with Discord and all that stuff. I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. I don't use the internet that much, which is why it's very jarring for me. Like when people just come here to sort of like harass me and then make fun of people dying of cancer. Like I guess that's something that's funny on the internet. So I don't use the internet that much. I don't fully understand it. So that's why I don't want to like insult or attack anyone that does that. It's like, sure, to them it's something fun that they can do, but for me, I don't I don't get it. Right. So here's the thing. So we have we have this menu that when you, there's certain actions here that you select a character, you can have 5 on in a corral at one time, but I want to make it so the camera will move over to the other guy, and we also want to make it so that the trees don't get in the way of the camera, they'll turn invisible. So those will be the first 2 things that we do. So first, I want to be able to have that camera move over to other characters. So let's go ahead and have a look at our logic controllers here. I'm hoping that only humans can be inhumane and say those toxic things. Yeah. Um, I don't understand it. Look, I have no ill will. I know that people want to just come to my channel and make fun and whatnot. I have no ill will towards people. I've never said anything negative, and it's important to me to treat everyone with respect, even if they want to come here and just say horrible things. Look, that's fine, guys. It's the internet. People are here for fun. I'm not offended. Uh, but you know what? I have to make sure that the vibe in the comment section is cool for everyone. So I'm sorry that I have to sort of moderate, and people want to make fun of people dying of cancer, and I have to delete those comments because it's a bummer for everyone else to see kids making fun of people dying of cancer. And I apologize that I have to have people moderate your comments, but that's just how it is. I'm not personally offended. Have fun with the internet. Say what you want. It's not a big deal. So ranch entities is how we reference the creatures that are in the field here. So when we select a character from that menu, we want to have the camera snap on over to that. So what I'm going to do here is just add a function. And the function, yeah, I appreciate the help, Matt Carter, for the moderating. I don't know. I don't know why YouTubers send their young and impersonal audience to do things like that. Is there an option for me to block people? I just see, remove, and report. Let me see. Um, Here, I'll make you like I'll make you a managing moderator. There we go. You're a higher level moderator now. I'm sorry, I don't really understand. I know it seems like, oh, I use the computer. I don't understand the internet that much. I'm bad with the moderating. I'm bad with YouTube. I'm bad with Discord. I don't use the internet all that much. I spend most of my time outside. If I'm not here working on games, then I'm outside. So I'm shockingly bad at the internet. How about you just vanish the tree when the camera gets close? Yes, yes, that's what we'll do. And then I'll show you how we implement it. So if there's anyone out there that wants to see how to implement that, they'll be able to see it as well. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's see here. We'll go public void. This is how we declare a function here. And we'll say look at member in corral. Okay, and then we'll have integer entity ID. So we can call this is reusable code. What we're going to do is the camera manager. I have a camera manager here, and the camera manager has its own logic. You tend to want to put logic into the objects themselves. Patty, hey, thanks for coming to hang out. Good to see you. Let's see here. Where's my camera manager? Camera manager. So Beast Fang camera ranch. This is the camera system for the ranch. I want to assign the new look target. So assigning a look target, basically the camera will follow that. It will set its position to that. And what we want to do is it's going to look at it, but we want to first snap the position to it as well. Otherwise, the camera is going to have to sort of fly across the whole scene to go. So what we'll do is we'll just set it to the in target. I don't know why I copy and pasted it. It was sort of a waste of time there. No. Transform dot position, so it sets the position there, and then it will smoothly follow it. So we will assign a new look target. Go to home-based manager. Dot assign new look target, And then we have our entities, which are all referenced, and then entity ID. So our logic here is pretty simple. It's only a couple lines of code. Sorry if I'll catch up with the chat in a second. I just got to do a little bit of work here. And we want to look at member in corral. So there's a couple times we need to call this, and oh, you know what? I started writing this. Yeah, look, I started writing this, but this is sort of, that one kind of sucks. It's not very good. Okay, so pressed A. So I'm going to look for every instance where I've gotten my button. Press A, Control F. You can find. So I want press A, and I know that's where my logic is occurring. Let's see, main menu 1 and submenu 1, current party member in focus. So what we'll do here now is we will look at the party member in focus. So every time the A button is pressed and then it does something with the character, it should move the camera. Let's go ahead and run it and then see what happens, and I'll catch up with the chat. Oh man, it's more of these kids just coming to make fun of people dying of cancer. It's so weird. The internet is so weird. Look, it's fine. If you guys want to come here, you know, if you want to make fun of other people dying of cancer, it's not a big deal. I'm not offended. You guys can talk about whatever you want. You know, it's not a big deal. It's the internet, you know. But I'm apologizing to you because I know you want to have your comments and you want to feel like your voice is heard, but you're bumming out other people, you know. And I feel bad. The people that are coming here, because that's what we're getting in the comments right now, is these are very young people, and I just feel bad for these people. These people do not have good role models. The people that are coming here making fun of people dying of cancer, these are kids that have not had good father figures. These are people that are following people on YouTube and Twitter that are not good role models, and I feel really bad for these people. Yeah. I don't know who Joe is. I'm not going to talk about my friends on a deeper level on the channel here because that's an invasion of privacy. I don't know who you guys are talking about. Okay, let me go ahead and fix this. So, assign new target. No, we don't want entities. We'll just put entity ID in there. Assign new target. Oh no, dot game object. It seems like my friend DJ, I don't know if he's responding to people in the comments or talking to people. I I think my friend DJ is messing with people. Yeah, I think my friend DJ is messing with people. DJ is my friend, and he's the most eccentric person that I know, and that's why I like him. And I think he's just messing with people. I don't know who's talking to whom here. You're not a game developer. You're a fraud. That's really hilarious. Says who? Because you can see my work here. I've developed 12 titles across the Nintendo Switch. So I don't know where you're getting that from. I've already done many streams where I've shown games being developed and launched numerous titles. So yeah, I mean, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't offend me. I don't know who these people are. I mean, there's a lot of people that came to harass me a while back, and then they just kept watching my channel, and then they said after a while they just became fans and just wanted to hang out as normal viewers. So I'm not going to be an asshole to anyone. I'm just going to treat everyone with respect, and that's That's just my choice. That's my approach that I'm going to take. Yeah, the camera's following. Hey, Analog Phil, how's it going? You hope, Pablo. Anyway, is this the evolution of Breath of Thunder? I'm not working on Breath of Thunder because that game is going to take a huge amount of time. Good to see you, Game Freak. Tavern Caller, how's it going? Um, yeah, I'm not working on Breath of Thunder because that's a JRPG and it takes a massive amount of work. I really need like 6 months of just working on that and nothing else in order to be able to work on Breath of Thunder. Um, and that sucks because JRPGs are my absolute favorite genre. So why target entities? When are you finishing Breath of Thunder? I haven't been working on Breath of Thunder. I told people, look, that's going to be on the back burner. I won't be able to work on that unless um, my plan is to just get a bunch of other games out selling, like this one and a bunch of other multi-platform games. My plan is to get these selling, and then that should fund Breath of Thunder. So let's go ahead and see. First, let's see what happens if we run it on Chunky, because Chunky. Are there any snow-based attacks? There's ice. Yeah, I'll show you all the elements. Okay, so let's see. Is it the camera manager? But I know the camera manager is assigned. Let's go ahead and look at camera manager, and it's not assigned. That's my fault. Main camera. Why do I have two? Why do I have two? Entity. That shouldn't exist. Let's go ahead and remove that. That shouldn't exist. Oh, why is it like that? Lol 420. I don't know, man. Let's see here. So if we open that, it's very funny. Assigning target entities. Why? We're going to just focus on the work a little bit and then just get this functional. It says that the camera is not assigned again, so let's go ahead and run that. Yeah, going all right, Devin. Caller, I'm just trying to make progress on this. I've been staying up pretty late just working on this stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, so if we go to him, okay, yeah, see the camera jumped over to Pablo, go over to Chunky. Yeah, there's probably the people that came here to just troll and put insults and harass me. Uh, they're probably still here. Look, I just want to personally speak to you guys. I'm not here as a YouTuber or an internet guy. I just want to speak to you guys personally, just as the dude. And I just want to say, look, I wish you guys all the best. I have I have no grudges. I don't want to say anything negative or insulting to you. I just want to say I wish you guys all the best. You know what? And I know it's very funny. It's so funny to go to someone's YouTube thing and then leave negative comments and make fun of people dying of cancer. It's not a big deal. It's not, you know. I don't personally care. I'm not offended. I'm wishing you guys all the best, and that's all. That's all I have to say. I have nothing insulting. And I know that you want me to say something negative and you want me to fight back because I don't understand the internet that much, but I think that's what it is. Is someone comes and they say something insulting and then you say something insulting back, then it's fun. But I'm too old to understand that. So I apologize to you guys. I know you want to engage in this fun back and forth, but I don't understand that. But you know what? I appreciate you guys leaving comments anyway, even if there's people coming to make fun of people dying of cancer, but it's not a big deal. It's just the internet. Have fun. I just want to say it's cool, man. Chill, baby. It's all good. So let's go ahead and add a third dude here just so we can watch the camera change even more. So we've got that. I just want to test it a little bit more. And then we're going to add some logic so we can move the trees here. You should add some behavior animation. Hey, X, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Like relaxing or getting angry. I'll certainly will do that over time. When you look at the stats, you see that the Goobuddies have their own different things here as well. So we have a prefab here, luckily. What we're going to do is just change this object. So we're going to select it. Oh no, I didn't prefab this. Oh no, that's a little bit annoying. These are, yeah, because these are placeholders. These are placeholders. That kind of sucks a little bit. So it's this tree that's getting in the way kind of often, isn't it? So what we're going to do is, look, people spamming like crazy. Oh, they want a reaction for a video. Okay, people want a reaction. There's people coming here to make fun of people that are dying of cancer. So my reaction, here's my reaction. It's cool, man. It's the internet. You're supposed to have fun on the internet. You're supposed to chill. Do what you want, man. I'm talking, and I typed in reaction. It's chill, baby. So I started writing a little bit of logic here. Um, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm not actually that interesting of a person. I know you're supposed to online. You're supposed to do like a back and forth. It's fun. Like they say you suck, and then you say you suck. That's the internet. It's a fun thing, but I don't understand that. I'm too boring to understand that. So I'm sorry. I apologize. Um, Now I added logic for a. Oh, you know what? I have to create the logic now. So we're going to program it now. This is what I really like in Unity. If you click on Beast Fang Ranch, there is I'll create that Beast Fang obstructable. I'm at number 2. Who does number 2 work? And I like when the random chats and saying things like parts. Oh, I appreciate the Canadian way. Yeah, just doing what's going on. Hey, Canadian Wayne, what's going on? We're just working on a game. There's a bunch of there are YouTube channels that have young and impressionable audiences, and so they sent their audiences to make fun of my friends that had died of cancer recently. So right now we're getting spammed in the comments of people just making fun of people that have died of cancer, and it's I don't want to say anything negative to those people. I don't want to say anything mean to them because there's a bunch of people in that group that have told me they've been watching me for months, and then after a while they just said they appreciate um, that I've just been respectful to everyone, and they said that they've just become normal viewers now. So, look, I don't want to say anything disrespectful or mean to anyone because that's not how I want to treat people. Hex, would you mind if I added you as a moderator so you could help manage as well? Managing moderator. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so bad about the internet here. Yeah, it's the same people. It's the same people that came to make fun of my friends that died of cancer recently. Yeah. Yeah. Hex, I'll make you a moderator if you don't mind. Okay, Admiral just came to hang out, listen to you make your game as a software engineer for 30 years. Hey, it's great to hear from you. I'm glad to hear from you, Wayne. It's cool to just hang out. Look, we've got 2 moderators in the chat now. I just want to keep the chat chill. Look, it's fine if people want to make fun of other people and say what they want on the internet. It's just the internet. You know what? It's not a big deal. So obstructable is what I called it. So what I want to do is be able to check a collision with the camera. I'll show you what I've done with the camera here on the ranch. There is a trigger collider, and it's a camera collider. It's on a layer. Yeah, let's focus on the screen. You're right, Hex. Hex, I made you a moderator as well. I really would appreciate that. So if we have a look at the camera collider here, this is just a trigger, and it's on a tag. So this is it's an efficient way to check a collision, so I don't have to check for any logic. So you can get a component from another object in Unity, but it's quite expensive in terms of performance. So if you just check the layer, it's significantly cheaper. I'm going to check the layer number, which is 9, so I can just check for layer 9. Yeah, you know what? It's not a big deal when people make fun of you on the internet. It's not a big deal. So now I'm going to do an on trigger enter, and this is basically one of the most important things that you can use. I'm just going to switch to a track that's a little bit more chill here. One of the most important things in gaming, especially in Unity, is on trigger checking. Um, I'm sure I have like instances of it here, but you basically check a collision's um, on trigger enter. You know, here's an example of it. On trigger enter, that sort of thing. So I've used it in another script before. So what we're going to do is just program that now. So we'll go to the pine tree, which is this guy here. We also need his own collider. So let's go ahead and use just a box collider. Those are pretty simple. I mean, you could use a capsule as well, but you know, I use a box just in case, you know, I want to use it for a building or something like that. So let's go ahead and add that, and then we'll add some logic just in here. Are you have any bat-themed monsters? Those are my favorite. Hey, how's it going, Stevie Cakes? Chrome Pantera, how's it going? Um, I didn't really lean that much into basing the designs off of existing animals. I'll just finish the script and then we'll go over into another scene where I can show you more of the creature designs. There are some flying ones, but there's none that are particularly based off a bat. And I don't know if I have an aversion to bats because of the Zubat thing, the Zubat situation that I think a lot of us in the chat probably grew up with with Zubats getting in the way. So I don't know if I naturally am kind of get a negative reaction when we hear that. So if other dot layer, dot game object dot layer, and I think the number was 9, wasn't it? So this is an extremely cheap way to do it. Normally you would have other logic and you would say grab a component from the other object, but this is an extremely cheap way to do it. Everyone is not. Having some Sentai themed slimes that can combine would be cool. Okay, now I have to show you the mechanic. Now I have to show you here. Um, hold on. Is it sorting? Hold on. Okay. So it takes a second for Unity to boot up once we're in this here. Okay, so this is one of my favorite designs. I'm a massive fan of Sentai and Mecha, so this is the species on that is multi-mega, and let's just see what he looks like with a couple other different. There we go. Um, and this one is rigged up as well, you know. So this one's all ready to animate and everything. So there is a mechanic called Stack Fusion, and then Stack Fusion lets you combine two Goobuddies. And normally they'll just like, you know, like they'll sit on, you know, one guy will sit on another's back. There's a table here, you know, you can put a lamp on a table. But there are certain other things where, I mean, this is almost bat themed, you know. So certain ones have wings, and if they have wings, then if they do stack fusion with the other Goobuddies, generally the rest of the creature will sort of disappear, and then the wings will attach. So the wings will go onto, you know, for example, that guy. We'll just sort of like we'll do a quick posing, you know, and see. We'll just copy that guy. You know, so potentially, obviously, I'm going to do a different version of the model. You know, so and stack fusion is temporary. You can do it, you know, in preparation for a battle, but you know, the end effect will be something similar to that. So for me personally, I would say like look for the guys that have wings, and then they could do cool combinations. So when you do stack fusion, it adds up their stats somewhat, and then all of the actions are added together so that they have access to more battle actions. So, okay, let me get back to the. Okay, you love that little table. I was sitting up late when it wasn't originally going to be a design, but I was sitting there and I was just kind of thinking like this would be so funny. It would be funny if there was a creature that was just a table. So there we go. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. There's someone in the comments saying your IRL friends called you a scammer and a liar, which is very funny because there's absolutely no evidence for any of that. It's my friend DJ. They're probably talking to my friend DJ, and I think DJ's fucking with these people. And DJ is eccentric. DJ is fun, and I like him because he's eccentric. DJ's the only person I know that is more eccentric than me, and I think I'm kind of weird and eccentric, and I think DJ's messing with these people. And these are little kids. The people that are coming here and attacking me are very clearly little kids. So it looks like they're just eating up whatever. I don't. Do people call it rage bait? I think that's what it's called. I don't use the internet, so I'm not familiar with terms. But I think my friend DJ is rage baiting these people to see them get upset, and I think DJ's just laughing his ass off to see these people get angry over literally nothing. I think that's what's going on. Because I don't know what these people are talking about. Okay, so on trigger enter is that. Uh, so going to do that, and I want to reference the holder. So public game object content holder, and we want to have our content holder disabled. So content holder game object dot set active is false. So anything within the content holder will be disabled, and now we actually want to have the opposite of that as well. I appreciate that, Matt Carter. Thanks for the help. Um, yeah. Game Freak 924. Jerrel, I'm curious since you live in a region where it was supposedly released, but are you aware of a console called the Digiblast? No. I have to look up Digiblast now, and I'm just going to hope that it's safe for work because I've never heard of it. Oh, what is this, friend? This looks like a 2006 sort of thing. Oh, wait. AI said this 2008. This thing is. Oh, this is fugly. I love it. I've never heard of this. What is this little friend? What platforms will this game be released on? Steam and Switch, and I'm gonna do a homebrew version. So I absolutely will do a PS Vita version. I'm gonna try for the 3DS, but the 3DS has massive memory leakage problems. So there will be a caveat. When I eventually do a 3DS version, I'll say like, look, guys, there's memory leakage problems on the 3DS, so it'll slow down over time, and there's nothing I can do to manage that. But the Vita version is gonna run just fine. What is this, friend? This is chunky. I like this a lot. So I think, yeah, there's someone from someone else's YouTube channel, and then they're sending their audience over to try and get an angry reaction out of me. And I just want to say, you guys, I wish you all the best. I don't want to say anything negative or insulting to you. You're here on the internet. Just have fun. Say whatever you want. It's all gravy, man. It's all cool. I've kind of adopted like a 60s attitude after listening to a lot of 60s music for a long time. And I think everything was so chill back then. And ever since I've been listening to a lot of Eagles and Creedence Clearwater, like when I was a teenager, I was a lot like the people that are coming here to just make fun of people, and the people that are coming to make fun of. whatever. You know, I used to be a lot like that when I was a teenager too. And I started listening to like a lot of 60 stuff, and it really, I don't know, it mellowed me out, it really chilled me out. And these days, like I don't know, I don't really get fussed over everything. I sort of have like a sort of a hippie reaction to everything. And sometimes I'm hanging out with my friends, they go like, "Well, doesn't that upset you?" You know, and I go, "I don't know, just kind of chill, maybe." You know. So let's go ahead. I just want to test this. I'm gonna grab this guy. Can I just, what would be a good way to test this? I want to grab my dude here. Can I just grab my dude? I just want to grab the dude. Now I'll grab the other dude. Okay, and we want to see the tree. So hold on, the logic does not appear to have activated. Right. Oh, you know what? I didn't assign the content value. Peace and spread positivity. Yeah. Well, I don't think you should. I don't think the 24-hour timeout is gonna work. I think you just block them. Yeah, just block them. As in store for development, what's in store for today? We're working on the menus a bit. We're going to make it so the trees are hidden when they get too close to the camera. So this one here, right? Okay. Oh, there's, you know what? There's another tree there. Okay, so we'll put that one there. So we're just going to ignore that stuff. We have moderators. I really appreciate you guys moderating. I really appreciate that. I'll just focus on keeping a positive vibe, because there are a bunch of people that were in that group that came here. You know, they were making fun of my friends that died of cancer, and they were harassing me. And they told me they've been watching me for a couple months. And they said after a while, they said like, "Oh, I get it. You know, you're just a normal dude. You're not some dude that's here for internet attention." They appreciate that I was just respectful to everybody. And they said, "Yeah, I just became a normal viewer afterwards." And so I'm just going to treat everyone with respect, because I'm not here for attention. I really just want to hang out with you guys and talk about games. Oh, see here. So that collider hasn't gotten close enough yet. What we're going to do is extend this and see what happens. Hold on. We'll start that over again. Maybe like that. Are you casting race to check the tree? No, this is a lot cheaper. You can do that, you can, but this is faster and cheaper, because I would actually have to cast a bunch of race to fill this. So what I'm doing is just a very simple collision checking, and the only thing that I'm checking for is if it's collided with something on layer 9, and this is on camera layer 9. This is extremely performant. It's very cheap. So what we're going to do is, oh, you know what? See, that looks to be a trigger. Let's go ahead and do that. We have our content holder. We're going to, let's go ahead and run it and then see. It's a, yeah, you know, there's always more than one way to achieve something, Wayne. And you said that you work in development and software development. And so you know there's more than one way to achieve something, you know, in terms of your software. And sometimes it doesn't really matter whether you do it a performant way or not. Okay, so this is not working. So we're going to figure out why it's not working. We're going to debug.log here, collided with layer 9. And this is a good way if anyone is wants to learn development and programming. It's good to run into these problems on stream so that we can show a way to fix your problem. So, okay, left object. Okay. And so what we're going to do is disable we're going to disable the logic for the ranch entity once it starts moving, so he stops moving around. Yeah, there's 1,000 ways to achieve, you know, a bunch of different things, and sometimes it is very important to look for a performant way to do all this stuff. So let's see if we got. No, we haven't gotten anything. I'm going to check my collision layers. So here we go. Physics. So camera, yeah, camera can collide with everything. So let's go ahead and check this now. This is a trigger. This is fan obstructable. Yeah, what we're going to do is make sure that it can collide with any object at all. You can see that box is. Yeah, Isaiah, good to see you. Thanks for coming to stop by and say hello. It's a shame you can't hang out for longer, but thanks. Have a great night. Okay, collided with any object. Collided with any object. Um, Sorry to divulge from the topic, but I'm really interested in the game save aspect. How does it work? Yeah, I can show you that. There's Again, there's many different ways to go about it. It really depends on what you want to do with your save data. You know, some games want to have save data that can carry over into other games. Some games have save data that's about um, cloud, like if you have to implement with cloud saving. So I'm not getting any collision here. Let me go ahead and check my camera. See, what I think should be happening is I should have gotten a debug message. I should have gotten this another typo. That's what happens when I type Sebas. Let's just say East Fame. So that is not colliding at all. And I need to figure out why that's not colliding. Mechanic, I got to get to bed, work in the morning, but it's been nice hanging out for a little bit. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thanks, Mechanic. Thanks for chatting here in the stream. All right, we'll stream again. We'll catch up again some other time. Okay, on trigger, enter. Man, okay. That, I don't know why that. See, I have examples of being used in other scripts, and they work fine in other scripts. So. This is supposed to be a chill management game. Yeah, very much, very much. The gameplay is it's quite chill when it comes to the menu, and then the battles are where things get more interesting. I'm gonna dupe this guy. A suggestion: may want to give your layers names for reference in code, but then again, you are a solo dev. That's right. Yeah. Well, that you can check layer names and whatnot. Um, okay, so that is colliding. Oh man, rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. In order for that to work, you have to have a rigid body. Such a rookie mistake. Kinetic and use gravity. That is a rookie mistake. Okay, let's go ahead and just grab our logic here. I'm going to manually just grab this guy again. Go ahead and turn off his logic and see if we can move from here. See? It worked that time because the camera has a rigid body. In order for on trigger enter and on trigger exit to work, you need a rigid body. So it's actually really good that I struggled with that for a second. It's a rookie mistake. Yeah, it's good that I did that so people can learn from that. So you see the logic is functioning now. Now you might be wondering why I didn't put a rigid body on the tree instead. It's cheaper to have less rigid bodies. The more rigid bodies you have, the more performance cost there is. So I put that on the camera collider here. The camera collider has a rigid body, and so only one thing needs a rigid body to get this performance cost. If you had 1,000 trees all have with a rigid body on them, it's significantly more expensive. So now the logic does function. So we figured out what went wrong. What went wrong was I made a rookie mistake. Ridiculous. You have to have a rigid body for that to work. Would be cool to fade it quickly. So that is something that's quite common that we see in games, but that requires a specific shader, and then that takes that has a huge performance cost. and that's a problem that we see in a number of games. Like say, for example, Scarlet and Violet, they sort of have that, but that resulted in a big hit to their performance because the shader has to be more complex. So I'm just going to leave it like this. You know, a slow fading mention the points of join. That there is a performance cost, yeah, and it's way cheaper. And I want this stuff, you know, running all perfectly on Vita and whatnot. I'm a massive Vita fan, and so I have a pretty I've put stuff on Vita, so I have a pretty decent understanding of stuff that's going to make the Vita chug. You know. Um, okay, so let's go ahead and just add a dude here, and I haven't finished all the rigging for all the other guys, all the other Goobuddies. I need to create rigs, which is basically the skeletal structure for all of them, and that's going to take a fair bit of time. Let's see here. Yeah, you know your target machines. Uh, I would like to do, you know, on stronger platforms. I would like to make the version of this game. You know, eventually one day, you know, if this does well, I would like to make a version that uses true volumetric lighting, just to make things look really nice for the weather and the time of day and all that. But right now, that's not the important stuff. And you were asking about save data, so I can show you save data as well. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but just sort of lost my place here. Let's go ahead. Let's see here. So I'm just going to make this species one. Does someone in the comment section? Someone in the comment section want to call out a name? We'll give a nickname to our. We're just going to add another guy. We'll do this. Call it a variant. This will be the element 1 through 14, and if someone wants to call it a nickname, so someone put a number and a nickname. So there was a comment saying, "Oh, you'll always be a fraud," which is very funny. Yeah, it's the internet. The internet, they just like to make fun of people, and I think people are getting mad because I'm not getting mad that people are calling me names and making fun of me. I think people are mad that I'm not mad. I apologize to you guys that I'm too boring. I know you want me to fight back. I'm sorry. I'm kind of boring. Let's see here. Um, we'll go to our save data. Oh, yeah, you're right, Game Freak. Well, Steve Cake said my table, so this is my table. Okay, let's run it. We should have a third guy now that should show up. So I'm editing the save data here, and then I'll just show the effect of it, and then I'll explain this to the save data. Someone's asking about save data. Oh, it's the same element. Let's make him a different element. Oh, cool. He's electric element. Um, so that's our guy. So let's click on him. This is my table, and the camera did function properly. The camera snapped to him, and this is our new guy, my table. So there we go. Are you sitting on a couch or a chair? This is a couch. It's a station I sit at when I need to work for very long hours, and I just find the couch much more comfortable. Banjo, because good thing. Steve Cake said my table. That's the guy's name. This is our save data now. So if we click over to, let's use stats. So we'll click on Pablo, and he moves over. Let's go to my table. You can see the camera immediately snaps over to their position, and then the camera will continue to follow them. Let's go ahead and do some interaction with my table. Let's poke him. Give him a hug. We'll do some training here. So I'll just show you what it looks like. Oh, oh no. Okay. Did you see that message there? My table has grown so old, its lifespan has been exhausted. If it continues to train, it will die. So that's how I handle lifespans in this game. Is that the monster won't be able to train to increase its stats anymore. I had considered making it like Monster Rancher where the monsters die, but that really sucks when you lose a character that you've been working on for a long time. So that's how I've made it like this. So we'll go into the save data here. You can see all the different entries. Yeah, they have a finite lifespan, yeah. Which means it gives you a reason to be efficient with your training methods. And then when you first start out with the game, the training methods are not that efficient. And then you play the game, you earn money, you save up, and you unlock more efficient ways of training so you can use the lifespan more efficiently. Let's see here. See how his lifespan is remaining. I'm just going to go ahead and bump that up 900. So what I'm doing is I'm editing the save data here. And we'll go ahead and run it, and then I can show you behind the scenes how the save data works. Okay, so first I'll just feed this guy something. I'll buy some food, give him some food. And now if we go to training from my table, let's do weightlift. You can see he's able to start training, so he is training now. Jason or Raw. So this is, I don't use Jason or anything like that. It's it's what is it? It's like a serialized data here. So it's this is the save data structure, and then you can have serializable objects in there, and then I'll have my save data manager. I'll show you how that works. And it's different for every console, for every platform, and actually, yeah, it's like a binary formatter, and then it just saves. I mean, it's the equivalent of like a text file, basically. Um, but I can't open stuff up because there's stuff that is NDA protected because it's specific to different platforms. So I can't actually. I just realized I can't open that. Thanks, Mojave Knight. I really appreciate that. Take care. Can you fuse buddies or evolve them? There is evolution. Hey, SMO, how's it going? Uh, we'll open up our room here again, and I'll show you there is some evolution, and then there's temporary fusion called stack fusion. Like say for example, you can stack fuse these two. And then they would become a combat unit. It would combine their abilities, it would combine their stats to a certain degree, and they would be able to use all their moves. But that becomes one unit, so one unit has access to more attacks and more stats. You can only have one stack fusion in your team, and you can have up to 5 units in battle. So that's but there are other species that have unique ways to perform stack fusion, like I was showing. There are some species that have wings, and then they can sort of combine. So, if it's one of these guys, when they do stack fusion, the main body disappears and the wings will get added. You know, like say for example, we'll just sort of, if these two were to stack fuse, it would look something like this. Uh, and then it would just be a stronger dude. Thanks again, Mojave Knight. Yeah, and I was having so much fun with these designs, just making like, let's make some weird, let's make some funny designs. Um, I'll run this room and then we can see the animation on this guy. This guy's called Saturn. Oh, you know what? The animator is not set correctly on that. I think if I go here, I can see what that guy looks like, and then we'll take a look at some other species. You also need to bounce Dildo, Paduano Jr. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out. Take care. All right, we'll see you next time. Here's this guy. Yeah. Yeah, if I hit run, you'll see this guy's little animation here. I don't know. I just think designs like that are kind of fun. So stacking only works mid-battle because otherwise it would bypass the lifespan mechanic, right? Yeah, well, your lifespan is only decreased when you train. So if your goo buddy is just hanging out on the ranch, the lifespan won't decrease. Otherwise, that would suck, right? Can you imagine? Because you can raise up to 30 goo buddies on the ranch. Can you imagine how much it would suck if your lifespan on your other dudes were decreasing, but you didn't have time to actually raise them? So it's the training itself that decreases the lifespan. You can stack them, and originally I was only going to have it so that his eyes are not set to the correct layer. See, if we set that to eye, get that eye sparkle now. There it goes. Um, yeah, originally I was going to have it to where you stack fuse right before battle, but then I, as a, I approach things as a gamer, and I think, oh, but I would like to see them stack fuse and then walking around the ranch. So now I'm going to make it to where you can stack fuse and then you can see them walking around the ranch, and then the stack fusion will end after battle. So the lifespan will still work the same because they can still do training even though they're stack fuse, but only the main guy will get the benefits of the training. It's saddening. I really like it. This is just this design. This is not one that I had planned early on. I was making a bunch of designs, and this is one where I was probably sitting up at like 1 at night. I thought, oh, it'd be a cool design. It would be just fun. So, are the color variants linked to elements? Yes, absolutely. Let me see our. I'll change the save data on our main guy, and then you will see the differences there. So let's go. We'll hit this a few times. Oh, you know, I like this track. The track that's playing is from the Silver Falls game. So this is, we'll look at Chunky here, right? So let's go ahead and look at our save data. So Chunky right now, his variant is 8, and that's plant element, right? If we open his stats, it'll tell us element is plant, okay? So we'll start at 0 and we'll see what happens, and we'll just keep changing it. Let me see. Yeah. So you can see he's just green, just plain, just normal. Uh, that's a neutral goo buddy. It's not considered. It's not considered an element. It's just neutral. Let's go variant one here. Okay, there's fire element. So you can see the fire element that has these own little particle effects. And the element of your goo buddy is designated when you have your egg. As you can expose the egg to different things during gameplay, and then the egg picks up, radiation and data from the environment, like genetic information from the environment. So the goo buddy that's born is based on you carrying the egg around and whatnot. That's water element. This is earth element. Switch to something a bit more chill with the music. And elements have access, of course, to their own abilities. So you'll eventually learn. Obviously, I'm going to have a website that shows all the different um, actions that monsters can learn and how they're connected to different elements. And that way, people can pick an element for their goo buddies based on, oh, I want to have a certain battle action. Here's ice. Here's poison. Would stacking result in dual elements, or does it only take the main buddy's element? It will result in dual elements. Yeah. So you'll have access to different actions and the dual elements. Uh, okay, that is cool. They have additional pop space on elements. Correct. That's right. Yeah. Um, And it's going to take a lot of work because right now there's like 80 or so unique species. So I'm spending time with each particular species and then creating the unique visual variations for it. You know, like the plant element has leaves on it. So it's not a matter of simply adding, a palette swap. The ones with particle effects, to be honest, the particle effects are a lot easier. I just need to resize the particles and the emitters so they fit the body better. This one's light element. The particle effects are easier. It's a little bit harder than one that have the physical changes like the rocks and the leaves. That one takes a bit more time. This one was shadow element. This one is gold element, and he right now he's a little bit more orange. I've been adjusting the shader values on that, and he's just a little too orange. So this tree didn't disappear though. Why did that? Oh, now it disappeared. Okay. So I think I'll just increase the collider on that tree because it didn't disappear and it was still in the way. Just look at it a little bit. Well, let's see. I want to adjust it. I think we'll just go with it too. Okay, we have gold. Shadow Goobuddy. They call it effigy. He might have a gun, look out. It's Sonic with a gun. Sonic with roller skates. Here's Silver. Oh, well, Pablo's Silver. There we go. Yeah, he even has aura. That's right. Yeah. So I need to adjust the gold one. This one's magic. Um, and this one, the lighting, it reacts to the lighting a bit differently. Like the lighting is more simple on the standard elements, but this one is considered a special type. It's not an element, it's special. And that has access to a bunch of very useful battle actions. And then the last one is Phantom. This one's my favorite. Um, I'm in my head. I'm thinking this is the one that I want. So it's fun working on games. I approach it as a gamer. This was not originally planned. The magic of the Phantom types were not originally planned. But as I was in the middle of it in development, I've done the standard elements, and then I just thought, oh, it'd be so sick, is if to have ones that are Phantom types. So I made it basically as like wish fulfillment because I thought it would be really sick. And then now I'm kind of thinking about it like if I were to be playing a game, I'd think like, oh, I want a bunch of dudes that are Phantom type. That'd be really cool. So yeah. What was I don't know. Let's put it back to six. Poison type, and you have to consider all the particle effects. I try to make the implementation of particle effects. I tried to keep that um, efficient and not over the top because if you've got five of them all emitting particle effects, that could cause the frame rate to dip. And it's so frustrating. It's so weird to think that something simple like you know, little poison dust clouds could make the performance bad, but it absolutely can. Oops, hold on. I wasn't meant to change that. I was meant to change this. Will it be a holy or light type? Yeah, yeah. I'll go back to it. What type is it? Was it? I already forgot. Was it 10? Oh, I accidentally changed the mutation type. Oops. I changed the wrong field. Yes, there's a light type. We'll see if I can find it again. That one's gold. Okay, was it that must mean variant 9 is light? These are all in the documents, but I don't memorize the documents. There we go. There's the light type. And now he's got horns. So what I'm also going to have, like, he doesn't have his walking animation yet. He'll be sort of wobbling and wiggling as he walks as well. So I'll be adding those later on, but those things you don't need to do early on. Those are things you can add afterward because they're not structural or functional. They're merely cosmetic, and those things you can save for later on. So I do the structural and the important stuff first. So, turn Saiyan. Yeah, Super Saiyan. This guy. All right, I'm gonna look at my list here. So we've done that. Show actual corral members. So we're gonna look at corral here. I'm just gonna start programming some logic for the corral here. Hey, Hilda, it's good to see you. How are you? Let's go to the ranch. What I want to do is now populate this data. So this is using development approach called stub and driver, and that's where you basically put stub logic in there. It's not the actual functional logic; it's just placeholder stuff, and you come back later on and add it later on. So these are stubs right now; they don't have the actual functional logic. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to update this logic here so it actually shows the actual corral members. Let's go ahead and do that now. So first I want to make sure that I reference those here. Okay. The small guys look so fun. And so I am, in response to I saw a request. I did a post that showed a little of that, and then someone in the comments said, oh, will the younger stages be viable? Because they said they really like the younger designs, and they'd like to keep them viable. So I will add a method to the game where you can have them maintain their form, and then they can still later on still have the growth rate of the later evolutions, so that you can maintain them and keep them looking the way that you like, but then the stat growth can still be as good as the adult stages. So that's something I'm going to add because someone asked for that in the comments, and I thought, yeah, I would like that as well. I think that'd be a really cool idea. So I want to make sure I'm referencing the corral and the roster here. So it looks like I already am referencing that when it comes to roster, but I do want to reference the roster page. Let's see where I have that. Let's see, roster page current. Let's go ahead and reference that as well. Okay, so I want to go into the programming here, into the script, and we're gonna let's see. Oh, what I think I will do. I'm just going to look for an approach that is efficient. Hmm. And you should always, when you can, to save yourself time, just copy and paste stuff if you've used it before and it's very similar. So, this stuff here, this stuff I've already sort of started using. I gotta focus for a second. Hey, Mojave Nice. Okay, we have this here, refresh character select menu sets. I'm actually just going to reuse the basis of that. I'm going to copy and paste it, refresh uh, roster around current. I'm going to leave an as diff here, and that basically creates an error so that it actually, you see this orange part here, that lets you know that there's an error there, but it makes it easy for me to come back. I can visually look at that. So that's just a little trick that I use. I call it an as diff. It's easy to roll your fingers across the keyboard. You have an as. It's just an easy way to come back. What I actually want to do is make sure I get the right reference. So I'm gonna run back here. Where is it? Roster. Okay. Yeah, the roster corral. Oh, this is different though. This is different. Okay. Yeah. And see how that was visually there, so it's very easy for me to come back. That's just a little trick. Um, Maybe it's a dumb trick, but it works for me. Did Mr. Nintendo already give you a Switch 2 dev kit? No. I'm not a big fancy, uh, huge developer, so I don't have access to a Switch 2 dev kit yet. Okay, so we want to use a roster corral, and so I don't know why. I don't know why. I thought they were the same display thing, but they're not. So that I just want to grab this. This is what's important here. I'm getting the current save data, the creatures and party, and then the member offset count. This is the value. That's the important part that I want. Okay, go ahead and copy that. Um, I dot. Oh, I haven't programmed the logic for this yet. Uh, Roster slot. Roster slot. See, there's no. So this only has references, but it doesn't have any functions yet. So public void. Let's see here. Refresh display data. There we go. So there's two things that I want, and I might just actually copy the logic um, from my battle slot. What was it called? Battle stat. I'm gonna save myself a little bit of time. I'm just gonna look at what we got here. You know what? I'm just gonna. Is it? Sometimes I do things that it's not good to show people that approach because it's sloppy if you're just looking at it from a distance. I've just copy and pasted that uh, just because it's similar logic, and then I'm going to make adjustments so that it fits properly. So this is what I'm doing now. Is kind of sloppy. Don't copy that. Let's see here. Hmm. So stuff like text HP, we don't need that. All right. So this is all the stuff that we want, and then this is the important stuff. So the image, portrait image. So we got the name, portrait, and then we want the combat power as well. So we'll have to get the combat power. So now I think this guy gives a combat power. Combat. No. Get combat power calculated. Okay, yeah. Um, Game manager dot get combat power calculated, and we want the member in party, which is the reference there. Dot to string. We're going to leave this unfinished. We'll come back and just make sure that our references are functioning correctly. Go back to our home-based manager, back to there. All right, and we want the actual oh, you know what? We can just copy this. Those arguments will be the same arguments. This is why I copy and pasted because it's very similar. So it's okay for me to copy and paste that. It's kind of a sloppy way to do it. How did you learn game development? Hey, awesome Mario, how's it going? I did a software development course, uh, which was very useful. It didn't necessarily teach game development, but it teaches principles that are very critical to effective game development. And then I'm mostly self-taught when it comes to game development. Well, I'm entirely self-taught when it comes to game development, but I did take a course in software development. That was hugely important for me. So I want to go to where we open the menu, and then we're going to call this. Okay, so set new menu mode. just gonna cheat here. So see what I did? See how there's multiple occurrences when we control F, it shows multiple occurrences there, but I don't want references to it. I want the actual function. So what I did was I did D and then space, and you'll see why, and then only one entry shows up. If we go to that, you'll see that it shows, public void and then the D from there. So that's a little shortcut, just a little trick to find something faster. Jerrel's game dev abilities are revealed to him in the streams. No, it's just so. Here's the thing: I'm not particularly talented naturally when it comes to this. There's a difference between talent and skill. Talent is just a natural ability. You're naturally able to do something quite well, to understand something quite well. And my talent is not very good, so I have to make up for that by just putting in a lot of effort. Skill is something that you develop. And even if you don't have talent for something, you can reach very high skill levels, but it takes way more work and way more effort. So I don't particularly have talent for this. I just brute forced it with effort and time. And it's a good sign for other people because there's a good chance if you want to get into programming and game development, there's a very good chance that you are more talented than me and that you will have an easier time doing this. But for me, I reached this point just by effort, just by time and effort. So here we open the roster, and what we're going to do now is call our previous function. And it's so you can learn game development by looking at tutorials and example projects. Go online, look for example projects, and you can change things in the example projects, and you can learn game development that way. That is a life lesson for everything. Andrew G, post. Hey, great. Andrew G, I actually have been working on Animelee. I know you really enjoy Animelee. There's some problems because it implemented you know how you could multiplayer between multiple devices in Animelee. That's now so outdated that when I bring Animelee to newer versions of Unity, it's broken. So right now I'm taking out that stuff so I can update Animelee. But I am working on it. It's good to see you. Congratulations, Jerrel. I started watching you since 2023, and see you grow is a huge inspiration for me. It's crazy how time passes quickly. A lot of time has passed. 2023 feels like a really long time ago. I'm just going to go ahead and run this now. We'll see if our logic all sort of comes together. Best way to learn if make a simple, very simple game first. Yeah, Canadian Wayne said it. If you want to begin, do not try to make even a medium complex game. Absolutely, that's very good. Thanks for saying that, Canadian Wayne. That's very good advices. Just start with something simple. Try and reverse engineer something very simple like Pac-Man, for example. Just start with a very simple game and you learn the fundamentals and the basics of it, and then you work your way up. You develop more skills from there. I'm going to open this. We'll see what happens. Let's have a look down here. The logic functioned properly, and you can see that those are the actual party members. We know that this is correct because if we go to any of these other menus, you can see Chunky, Pablo, and My Table. And if we open range, you'll see Chunky, Pablo, and My Table there. Now there's going to be different corrals, so there's different environments on your ranch, and each corral offers a different growth boost. So if your Goobuddy is a certain element, you will get stat growth boosts if they are on that certain corral. But there's only 5 slots on each corral. Hex. Wayne is right. I made a simple platform within a day. There you go. And absolutely, and that's how you learn from it. You start from something simple, and then you just add more. You have to think, okay, I would now like my game to have this, and you figure out how to add one thing at a time. And all of that experience, all of that knowledge adds up over time, and you build up your ability to do certain things in games. And it all works out. So our stables, let's go ahead and now make it so our stables can be displayed here. And again, I'm going to use the approach where I copy and paste stuff because it's already very similar. And so I don't have to type stuff out all over again. This is why coding is scalable. You can just copy and paste stuff. And I know that sounds lazy, but it's important to use that approach because this is why it's more scalable. Scalable is how much bigger can you make something, how much more complex, how much more can you add to it without it becoming unmanageable. If you can keep adding to it and it's still manageable, it has good scalability. This is why game engines that rely on a visual interface, that are visually based, like a drag and drop sort of thing, they're not scalable because the more you add to it, the less manageable it becomes. Code is very manageable, so it is scalable. So we're going to copy and paste that. Okay, not the corral. We're going to change this to roster. And now we want to change our iteration length, and we will change this. I gotta think. I'm going to look away from the chat, and I gotta think here for a second. And we're going to look at, what is this? Slots? No, what did I call it? Roster storage? Yeah. Roster storage dot length. And now what we want to change, we still want to get some information from our save data. What this is doing is accessing our save data. So this is game manager.get current save data, but we don't want the creatures in party. We now want the creatures in the corral. So what we're going to do is creatures in reserve. You see how we have two different sets of data here? We have creatures in party and creatures in reserves. Now we're changing that to creatures in reserve. This is where you can come into some problems, because you might change this one and think you've done it, and then you can forget to change that one. This is where you can run into problems. SMO, BGW, will you cover Legends ZA Switch 1 performance when the game releases? Yes, I am interested in that, because Nintendo has stopped showing us Legends ZA running on Switch 1, so I'm very curious. I want to see what that's like. Remember, Dildo, remember it's okay to copy anything as long as it's yours. Yeah, that's it. Copy and pasting code just saves you having to type stuff out and having to waste your brain juice thinking it over again. Okay, so now the way that we access the elements has to change. So right now we're relying on member count offset, and again I'm going to use my little trick. I call it the ASDF, because I just roll my hand across the keyboard very quickly. That puts a little error. I'm in front of it on the scroll thing, but I can see where I need to come back. What I need to do is create a new reference. I need to create a new value to keep track of. So I use offset, right? I have member count offset. There's no reason to copy and paste it. That was silly. I'm going to say roster count offset. Now let's go ahead and look at the logic for member count offset and what it is doing. Member count offset. Member count offset helps us keep track of what value we want to access if there are multiple pages. So say, for example, if we change the corral, we want to offset should equal 5. If we're in corral 1, offset should be 0. If we're in corral 2, offset will be 5. And that is because there are 5 members per corral. So what we'll do is use my ASDIF, and it's telling me to come back here. There it is. Okay. So this is my corral. What? Oh, roster. No, my roster offset. Copy and paste that. And now we want to make sure that this is set properly. So now we'll have roster offset count equals. And what value are we supposed to use here for this? It's up to you as a developer, but it needs to be this. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So roster offset should be equal to 20 multiplied by our roster page, our stable page. I'm not sure what value I used for that. So I need to find what value I'm using to reference that page here. If I go to roster, text roster page, I need to find it. I've lost track. Window roster. We've got here roster mode. It looks like I'm relying on cursor column, and I don't I don't like that. Cursor column lets me keep track of where my cursor is in terms of menus, but I want the stables to remember what page you're on. And if it's using cursor, cursor is reset when I go to a different menu. And I don't want that because every time you come back into that menu, it's resetting to the first page of your storage. So I'm just going to add a new value here, a public integer roster storage page. Okay? So we need to make sure that we come back and change that logic, but first we'll close this off here so it's not a mess. So it's 20 times the roster storage page, and now we just need to update our logic. And that is instead of the column here, left and right is what we want to change. I just want to make sure I'm not changing out something wrong. I put a comment there. It says branch roster, but this needs to, right. I Do I not have? I thought I have a way to change this page. I just need to think here for a second. I thought I made it to where the page. Okay, I'm sorry for a second here. I just need to double check my work here. I thought that when you're all the way to the right and then you press right again, it should change the page. I thought I did that last night, so I'm just gonna check what's happening here. By the way, Jerrel, do you have any IRL pets? Yeah, I've got some animals. I've got animals that I like. Okay. Let's see here. Branch. See if I go all the way to the right and I press right again, you'll see the number. What? I haven't programmed that logic yet. That's why that's not working. I haven't programmed the logic. Okay, that's fine. I can come back and fix that later. Okay, what was I thinking of? Oh, I know what I was thinking of. When you go into bounties, I got mixed up because I was working really late. I usually work until like 1 or 2. If you go to the end of this and you keep pressing right, it changes the page. So I haven't even programmed the logic for the page changing yet. So now we'll go ahead and call this. So I've just written the function for this. When we call the function, all of this should be invisible because I don't have any characters in storage. And then what we'll do is we'll edit our save data to make sure that it works properly. It's called a refresh, right? I've got a bunch of refreshes down here. This is why I like leaving as diffs in there because it'll leave a little. I mean, yeah, I think you can. Are there some programming languages where you can sort of do that? I think, or no. See, it doesn't show up there. It doesn't show up on the. Yeah, I don't use that. I don't. Jerrel looks suspicious of his own code. Yeah, sometimes you can do things wrong. Sometimes you leave things out, and yeah, just because you've coded it doesn't mean you've done it correctly or to the best that it should be. So sometimes I do look at stuff and I think that might not be right. Okay. So see how it says 0 references? Refresh roster. It says roster twice. Did anyone point that out? Did anyone point that out? No. Refresh roster current. I'm just going to grab that. And now, when I set the new menu mode, that changes the menu mode that we are in. Number 7 is the roster. So right now we have called refresh the corral, but now we want to refresh the rock. The naming is so bad. I really don't like that. Oh, you know what that's supposed to say? It's supposed to say storage. A roster storage. That's what I meant. There we go. There we go. So now when we open the menu for that, it should be all blank. Vosh Van, hey, how's it going? I just finished listening to the audiobook Masters of Doom, so watching Jerrel work reminds me of the early ID guys making their passion project games. It's so cool. I just admire developers who who are making something they really enjoy and they really care about, and they're good at what they're doing. And I'm hoping by making these videos, I sort of, you know, I show people how satisfying it can be. It's a fun challenge, but I want to show people that they can do it too, because there will be people out there who are just much more talented than me at this. They just don't know it yet, and so I'm hoping by doing this, I can inspire people. You guys can go out and develop. You can program. You can make your own games. It's not, you know, rocket science. You can do it. So I'm going to open branch and we'll see. Okay, so here's what's something's gone wrong here. It says array index out of range. So something has gone wrong. Let's go ahead and fix it. Silver Falls is kind of like Commander Keen, where they had a bunch of sequels and trilogies all in the same world. Yeah, I really enjoy that kind of. Um, that's fun. Seeing a franchise and then different styles of games and different stories all in that one world is really fun. What I've done here is I haven't changed the roster corral. I've copy and pasted it, and that's why I say be really careful when you're copying and pasting because it is a little sloppy and you can make mistakes like that. So let's see what happens now. My friend, it's inspiring. Carmack said all you need is a computer, some pizza, Diet Coke, and the will to put in the work. Absolutely. You know, and you don't even need Diet Coke. You can have Diet Pepsi or Pepsi Max, as we have here in Australia. Sorry, it feels so good when your code works when you put it all together and then it functions. Oh, get in, mate. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is edit the save. Yeah, Hex, let's go. I'm going to edit the save data. I'm going to put a Goobuddy. Let's put two Goobuddies in the stables, and they should appear. Later on, I will program the logic for changing pages, but changing pages is going to be easy because of this value, the roster count offset. Normally, it would be kind of difficult and complicated, but this makes it so easy. Now, all I need to do is when the page is changed, the roster storage page, you multiply that by 20, and then it changes the values that it's accessing in the save data. It changes it by 20. This makes everything so easy, just this one little line of code. So let's go ahead and edit our save data. Let's get some dudes in here. Okay. There can only be 30 at the time in the roster? Yes, there are 5 corrals, and then there are different themes. Like there's a snowy one, there's a desert one, and so if Goobuddies are a certain element, they'll grow faster. Their stats will grow faster in certain corrals, but you can only have 5 in there. But you can swap them out whenever you want, you know. So it's easy to manage them. So this is creatures in party element. So right now, if you look at our save data, we have 4 save slots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're accessing save slot 1. This is creatures in party. What we want to do now is have creatures in reserve. Right now there's none in there. Let's go ahead and change the species ID. If the species ID is 0, we know that there's no creature in that spot. Hey, thanks, Canadian Wayne. I'm going to wrap things up pretty soon as well and grab something to eat. So it was great hanging out. Thanks for that, Canadian Wayne. We'll see you next time. Okay, and our nickname. There's something wrong with the mic. Sometimes can't hear your voice. Oh, I wonder why. I'm not sure. I'll have to investigate that after the stream here. Hex, do you want to come up with another name for these two? We'll put some names here for the creatures in reserve so we can see them. Species ID. Oh, Ildo, Dominic. Excellent. Okay, cool. The first one will be Dominic, and then we can program the logic that will take them out. That is something that does take a fair amount of work. So I don't know. Maybe we can start it here on stream and then I'll finish it later. But it does take a bit of work transferring a creature from reserve into the party or moving him around the main roster. Okay, we have Dominic there. Okay. Hex, I'll let you name this one. I'll wait. I'll wait until you put a name in the chat. But we have one of them's Dominic. Okay, and the variant. Let's just put some numbers in there. Close that. And there's a lot of data, like the save data for the creatures, and there's a bunch. It causes this inspector window to be sluggish. Plus, there's 4 save files in there. Okay. Ildo, I'll let you pick an element. Pick a 1 through 14 for Dominic. I'll let you pick. here. What I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna remove 2 of the save files right now just so it runs a little smoother, hopefully. Eight. Oh, cool. All right, let's see what 8 is. Is Vale. I made this name up. Cool. All right. Okay, creatures in reserve. Okay, so is this an older version of Unity? Yes, Sin Snow, the one. This is Unity 5.6, and I use it because it's very fast. The newer versions of Unity are very sluggish. They lag all the time, especially the newest ones. Sometimes it'll just stop and it'll say, wait a minute, Unity is thinking. It's very frustrating. Unity 5 is extremely fast. So I do the majority of my work in Unity 5, and then when I'm ready to bring it to modern platforms, I just transfer my project across. That's a cool name, yeah. Uh, so Dominic is going to be 8. Okay. Let's see. Yes, you use Unity 6, and I'm feeling the lag. You get it, right? Sin Snow? It's and it sucks. Like I think that they've turned things around with Unity and they're doing a good job, but oh boy, the editor has gotten slower and slower. Whereas this is snappy. 5 is so snappy. But you have to have a decent understanding of the what's different between the versions, and I've used every single version of Unity since 3. So I have an understanding of what's different, what's not, what's not really compatible in terms of workflow. So that's something to keep in mind is that there are a couple hiccups when you're moving across. Imagine the save data menu on modern Unity. I know. See, this is slow already because there's a bunch of data. All the monsters, there's a bunch in there. Um, and it's chugging along, and it would be even worse on modern Unity. Okay, it's in there? We're gonna close that. Okay, we have our frames, guys. We got our frame rate back. Let's run it. Now, what I'm hoping is going to happen is we open the range, and then we're going to see our 2 new Goobuddies in there, and then they're basically locked in. They're basically imprisoned until I program the logic that lets you take them out of storage and put them into the roster. So they're going to be imprisoned until then. All right, let's open the ranch and get in, mate. Get in. We got Dominic and Isvade. Awesome. I'm sorry. It's so satisfying. It's satisfying to put the work in and then to see it function. It's very satisfying. So now what we do on a program is pushing the A button and then going here and pushing that. I kind of I'd like to have lunch. I'll just start doing it now because I feel bad. I feel bad that these guys are locked in the stable. So we'll start doing it now. What we'll do is just copy that, and then we're just gonna go like that, and then pushing that, and then he'll go into the corral. But there's a lot that goes in because then you have to refresh your corrals so that the visuals show up. But just in terms of data, I'll get that started. I'm starting to feel pretty hungry here. I had a pizza less than a week ago, and I don't want to have another one. You got to be careful your diet when you get older. So I won't be having a pizza. I'm going to have something healthier. So let's go ahead and start that. Now, here's the thing with it's easy to make a mistake in this step because you could accidentally just move a reference across as opposed to the actual data. And what we want to do is copy the data, not the reference itself. We could really mess things up really badly here. So this is why we have to be careful. And this is something that you learn, when I took a software development here in Australia, I learned software development, and you learn things like that. Like you could end up copying a reference instead of the data itself. You learn that with object-oriented programming. It's something that's kind of hard to learn unless you're sitting down in an environment and you have someone explaining it to you, and then you can ask questions and say what you don't understand about it and have someone explain it. So what we'll do is we'll go to Game Manager, and I think I have something here. Um, Mm, What we're going to do is this. So game managers, where we have our data that can be changed. This describes our play session. So, holds our save data and anything like that. I'm gonna make this public, and I'm gonna go member public East Fang creature in party. And I'm gonna say member to transfer. This is okay. I need to be really careful here not to mess this up because I gotta concentrate a little. Are you self-taught or traditional schooling, if you don't mind my asking? I'm both. Since I took a software development course, and that is vital. Like even still today, I'm understanding that what I learned in my software development course, I would not have learned that through self-study. But when it comes to game development, that's stuff that I've just learned myself. You teach yourself stuff over the years, and it really depends on what kind of games you want to make as well. You know, you should learn skills that are relevant to what you want to create and the tools that you're going to use. There's no point in learning skills for tools that you're not going to use. So, I have stubs here. These are placeholders. There's no logic in them, but it says move um, member from party to reserve. But I want to find the most efficient way to do this without having to do a ton of programming. Obviously, you have to, but I want to minimize the amount of work I have to do. So let's find an efficient way to accomplish that. So I'm just going to think here for a second because I want to use this. What I want to do is I have to copy the information from one member. If you try, I'll open this and I'll try to explain it. If you want to send a bigger message another time, should I just send a message through Discord? Not add just DM. Yeah, you can. I apologize. I don't check Discord that often. I do have there's Instagram. Sometimes I open that by accident. Um, I don't do a lot of social media, but you can send a message to Discord and I'll try to open it. So I'll explain here. If you try to copy this guy, if you say, "Oh, copy him," and then move him to this, what you're doing is you're actually copying the values from one slot to another. But if there's someone here, he's going to get erased. So what you have to do first is take this guy, copy his information, like copy my table's information, copy it to some buffer data container, and then move him across. And then you have that buffer data sitting nearby. Then you take that data and then you move it into that slot. You have to do that. If you don't do that, one of these guys is getting erased. Okay. See here's what I don't want to have to do, right? What I don't want to have to do is manually just say like copy all of this. Oh, I don't really like the idea of that. I might have to, or you manually say this equals equals equals, and then copy information from another. Oh, let me see. Um, See, and you don't want to copy the instance. You don't want to copy the reference. Hmm. And this is where you can run into memory leakage, right? Oh, and I don't. I'm thinking about it. You could just do equals, right? Equals, and then you're referencing the object. Ooh. This is where you run into memory leakage, and you could cause memory leakage. And I want this running on older stuff like the Vita and the 3DS. So if I'm not careful, you're going to end up creating memory leakage. So, oh man. And there could be programmers out there that know a much better way to do this. I'm not the greatest developer in the world. I don't know absolutely everything. I'm still pushing myself to keep learning and improving. So one day I could find a method to do this much more efficiently. Um, man, I'm just before I do this, I'm going to try and think of the most efficient way possible to do this. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, there's many ways to do this, but I'm considering potential memory leakage. Do you know roughly how much more development time this needs? Since I think well, it depends on how much I want to put into the game in terms of features. I wanted this game done within another month, but I've just realized in order to have PvP, I need to have more development time. I only have one Switch development kit, and that means that I would have to buy another Switch development kit, and it would probably take like 2 more months of development to have PvP. So I'm really wondering right now what I should do about that. I haven't super made up my mind here. Okay, I'm gonna do this in a really oh just a gross way. That yeah. All right, we're doing it. We're just gonna copy the values manually. Yuck, 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 yuck. Okay. I don't really there'll be people out there that know a better way to do this than me. There will be people out there who could do this better, more efficiently and faster. Um, copy member to buffer, right? Okay. But I'm going to do this in a way that I'm familiar with, in a way that I know absolutely for certain will not do anything wrong and will not result in memory leakages. So that's why I'm taking this approach. But someone out there very likely knows a much faster, much more efficient way to do this. What I've done is I've copied all of the values of that. I've literally copied and pasted. I'm just going to remove the definitions here. Okay. This is such a sloppy way to do this. There's sometimes like I don't want to show people my work because this is sloppy. This is not an elegant solution in terms of what it looks like. This is not elegant. This is gross. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I don't have many social media. Also, call me old school, but email is still king. I barely check my emails, and I feel bad about that because sometimes friends will send me an email. I feel really, okay. So I'm just going to manually remove these now. There's not that many. Get rid of the string. Um, that. Okay. Oh, this is. Oh, and then you have copying arrays. Yeah. I don't feel great about this. You can end up causing memory leaks by changing your reference to your array as well. This is not, it's not, I'm not perfect. I'm not the very best at this. And that's why it's important for me to keep improving and to keep learning more. There's probably a much better way to do this. Okay? This is gross. This is so gross. How about a shadow page unaccessible by normal means that just has the memory allocated for Goobuddy movement? Um, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Here's what I'm getting. This is dumb. But I'm just like copying and pasting the equal sign just to save myself time. So what I want to do is I want to set the value. So this is so dumb. This is I don't want people to look at me right now. This is not elegant. This does not make you look good. But it's functional and I'll never have to look at it again. So someone would probably make like a make something, clonable and then clone it. We want to get rid of these things as well. These came um, from the class definition, defining the data structures. This is such a yucky way to do this. If you're out there learning, learn to do better than me. Find a better way than this. But if you need something functional, the way that I'm doing it is functional, but oh boy, I don't feel great about it. Okay, what we're doing is just copying the values, not the reference. And this is because I've considered the potential implications of just copying and changing a reference. Could be problematic. But if this, I mean, it will work because I've taken this approach before. So when we're finished with this, we'll be able to take a character out of the storage and put them into the roster on the corral. Oh, this is so gross. And this is very problematic. The reason why this is problematic is if I change anything in the save data, I have to remember to come back to update this. And if I don't, then you'll have data corruption. Basically, your character data will get corrupted as you move it from one to another, and that's where you get weird glitches. You you can always come back to optimize it later if you come up with a better idea. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm still learning stuff. You know, I wouldn't say every day, but you know, every week or every other week, I'll still learn something, and I'll say, "Oh, I've been doing this thing very poorly for the past 20 years, and I've suddenly found a good way to do it." So that's why I keep pushing myself to learn. You know, so I'm just copying and pasting, and I have to pay attention to make sure I don't mess up. See how I just messed up just then? But this is functional. Avert your eyes, children. Yeah, if you're young, please don't learn this. There's going to be better ways. There's better ways to do this. Uh, Ben Hartman, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Have you ever considered trying out an AI coding assistant? I've been deeply enjoying a workflow within VS Code that has a Chat GPT 5 coding specific large language model that can walk you through yucky stuff. I haven't, and I don't really want AI involved when it comes to this stuff. I want to do the hard work. I want to do the grunt work myself because that's what allows me to gain a better understanding of whatever it is that I'm doing, and it gives me an opportunity to learn. I don't want AI to make things easier in a specific way, uh, and I don't want to run the risk of the AI getting it wrong and then me not understanding why it's wrong. If I just rely on AI to do things and then just trust, oh, AI should get it right, when it goes wrong, I won't be able to understand. So for me, it's important that I do these kinds of things myself, that I struggle with it because that is what allows me to learn and improve. That being said, you know that there are tools here that in the past, you know, like you could stretch and say that there are things that are AI. And it's certain things like when you start typing the name of a function, right? You could just stretch and say, oh yeah, that's a form of AI because it's recommending things that you started typing. It'll show you the properties of a class. You know, you could stretch and say that's AI, even though it's not. You know, it's uh, just part of the program. See, I'm talking too much, and now I've messed that up. So I need to make sure that I don't mess this stage up because this is where you end up accidentally creating the ability for people to duplicate items and duplicate Pokemon. You know, and I love a good duplication trick. Let me let me control Z that. I wouldn't waste the word love on that. Like love is a pretty important, powerful word. I really like duplication tricks, right? Duplication glitches, that stuff's cool. I like it. But it sucks when it's your thing and you get a DM from somebody and they say, "Hey, dude, I just figured out a dupe trick in your game. I can dupe all my ammo." And I think, oh well, I tried. I tried my best. You'll learn if you're honest with yourself. That's the hardest part. Yeah, and when it comes to this stuff, like you just have to do the hard grunt work to learn. That's just what it takes. And it sucks. It's grindy, but that's how you improve and get better. You'll never truly learn with AI. Yeah, Game preview. Absolutely right. Getting a cup of soda. Hildo. Okay, be right back. Jinzo J. Hey, how's it going? Learning the hard way is always the best way. It builds that valuable muscle memory and stuff. Once that frustration is gone, smooth sailing. You got it. That's extremely well said, Jinzo J. Very well said. Um, it's like weight training. You know, people go to the gym and they lift weights to get stronger. You don't get stronger by having, you know, like a forklift pick up a weight for you. You get stronger by lifting the weight yourself. And when it comes to, you know, art and programming and game development, not just programming, you know, but anything, in order to gain a deeper understanding of it, you have to do it and you have to struggle with it. And that's what allows you to gain a deeper understanding. And these are all errors, but I'll show you why I've left it that way. I'm just preparing for the second stage of copying data. This is a bad way. I'm just thinking about, you know, and it's this kind of feeling, right? Like I know this is not a good way to do this. Um, it's this feeling that's going to push me. It's going to motivate me to find a better way to do this. See, I messed up just there. Oh, I'm going to have to come back and redo this. I shouldn't be gabbing away here because I'm making mistakes. Achievements. So here's what I need to do now, right? I need to copy to the buffer. Oh no, I shouldn't need that. I should not need to have this. I'm gonna comment it out because when you're coding and you need to make an adjustment, you shouldn't delete things. You should comment that out because you might find that you'll need it later on again. I don't need that. I don't need to specify it's to the buffer because the buffer is merely just another member. So copy member to member. So I'm going to say in member source, and then I can say in member target. And there we go. So now the source will be on the second, will be on the end of that, and the source, the target is what we want to change. So now we'll copy and paste that, and there we go. So now we just need to do that for everything and just make this is functional. It is functional. That's what I'll say. I just need to make sure I don't mess anything up. Ben Hartman, yes, AI can get it wrong, and you're right. But when it goes wrong and you don't know where, it can be an absolute nightmare. Absolutely. That's the main problem is when AI gets it wrong and you don't understand why, there's nothing you can do about it. I'll go away. You can't. You're like, no, no, hang out more, Ben. Hang out more. We're almost done. Look, we're almost done with this, and then I can show you the end result. I'll show you how it's functional. It'll work fine. Um, Honestly, we should use AI as tutors and tell us to teach stuff. Well, there is opportunities to use AI. I think it's very good for parsing data and finding patterns in data. You know, it can identify things like that. I think it's important to use it where it would be appropriate. Like it can identify patterns in in you know in ways that people it's just not feasible for people to identify those kinds of patterns. Okay, we're wow. There's a lot of data in each particular monster, and now I'm going to have to remember to not if I change the save data, it's going to mess everything up. I'm getting there. We're almost there. We're more than halfway through here. This will work. We will be able to. I don't want to leave our dudes in the stuck in the roster storage. You know. Okay. Okay. Oof. Okay, halfway done. Now we have the member source. Okay, so we're basically copying the value from one object to another, from one instance of this class, which is basically a storage. It's a container that holds our save data for a monster. Tips for not procrastinating and staying on track while ND-deving it up? Yes, that is one of the hardest parts, is procrastinating and staying on target. This is a video, I mean, I've been planning on making a video to explain that, and this is something that I learned in uh, my software development course, because I learned project management. And learning some project management skills is extremely important. There's so much to game development where it's so exciting the first week. The first week is the honeymoon period. You're so amped, and it feels like, oh man, I'm going to reach the moon. I can do it. And then after that, it feels like it's taking so long, and you feel discouraged, and it feels like no matter what you do, it's never going to get finished. So what and I should make a video to explain this in a more detailed and organized way, because I'm trying to program and not make a mistake here. But it's basically, you have to group similar tasks together. It's called chunking. And so, say for example, if you have to do sprite work, right? Organize all of your sprite work so that there you do all of that together. When you are working on one particular thing, your brain gets into gear and it's able to perform a task over and over again more efficiently with less effort. So take similar tasks, group them together. You will know when you get tired of doing a particular task. Your brain will tell you, I'm doing this very efficiently right now, but I'm sick of it. I've been doing it too much. And that's when you move on to other tasks that have been chunked together. So say you're doing your sprite work, you get exhausted. A whole week of sprite work, you just can't take any more of it. So now you do use the concept of chunking to organize other tasks together. So say you need to program your battle system. Anything that's related to programming the battle system, you chunk that all together, and you think, okay, I'm tired of doing sprites. I'll program the battle system. Don't switch between other things. Just work on that until your brain kicks into gear. You're able to do it efficiently, and that is one way to where, when you start getting discouraged or you start procrastinating, is consider your tasks in chunks and have a written document that is a to-do task list. I always have a task list. Always. Right? Like, say for example, like, this is a crappy informal one, right? This is just a text document, but it's a task list that's not formal, but it's, what am I going to do on stream? And I've set aside tasks that I know I can do these on stream without getting too, you know, frustrated or lost or confused. When you feel like you're going to procrastinate, sit down with your task list, consider what you can do, and consider what you feel like doing. And that is a big one, is what do you feel like doing? And put down tasks that you know that you feel are achievable, and put those on the task list and just do it. Just work on the stuff that's achievable. And it feels really satisfying to see stuff and go, oh yeah, I can take that out. That's gone now. I finished that. Oh, that's satisfying to remove that from the list. Trees, we made it invisible. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's satisfying. Take that off the task list. And that's one method to deal with procrastinating and all that. There's so much more to it, though. Okay, so we have copy member to member. Okay? So let's go ahead and go to our home base manager, and we will control find press A. Let's go ahead and try to implement this logic now and see if I don't mess this up. I'll catch up with the chat. Um, Hex, I study psychology. To not procrastinate, you have to stop seeking perfectionism all the time. Oh, that's interesting. Make shit, but make it in the end and improve later. Yeah, that's good advice, I think. Yeah. Analysis is paralysis. Oh, I've heard people talk about that at oh, these companies have analysis paralysis. Sometimes I experience that myself when I'm working on my projects, and I'm kind of thinking, what project would be best to work on right now? What should I work on next? And you can get analysis paralysis, absolutely. Personally, I use Google Tasks, but text file also works. Yeah, I use OneNote because I always have it on my phone, so I can always access OneNote. Okay, so we want get button pressed A. Let's see here. We have our roster. What we want to do first is take a set of data out of the storage and put it into the corral. So we are here, ranch roster. Okay. So menu sub mode 0 is to move characters around, select slot 1. Okay. So if it's roster mode is on the storage, okay. So what we want to do is copy something and move it to the buffer. Copy member to member. So we go game manager. I'm just going to put some music on that's a bit more chill here. Okay, this is what we just wrote. This is the very ugly code that I made that's not nice. Okay, and we're in the roster right now. Okay. Ugh, malware bytes. Thanks for moving. See. We want to access the. This is what I want to access here. The save data features in reserve. Yeah. Okay. We'll go back to this spot. See where I've left a compilation error? I can just find that bright orange. I can come back to it. Okay. That is the first one, and the second one will be the buffer, right? We're going to copy it to the buffer. To make that public. A member to transfer. Yeah. I'm thinking of my naming here. I just want to make sure that the naming makes sense to me. And I don't like it. Member in party buffer. There. That is more descriptive. It's important to use naming that is descriptive so that you can understand it if you come back later on. This is a little bit more descriptive. Okay. So what this our first step is this copies the character that we're highlighting from the roster, and it copies it to the buffer. If we're in the corral, instead of oh, see that could have gone wrong. We don't want I. We want column. Oh. Cursor row. The row multiplied by 5 because there's 5. Multiplied by 5 plus cursor column. And this one should just be cursor column. Yeah, and this is features in party offset. Member count offset. There we go. That's the corral. So this is copying the member to the buffer, and then what we want to do now is change the sub mode. So, and I'm going to put this here for a reason. Okay. Sub mode is equal to 1. Okay. And then actually what we want to do now is check. Yeah. No. Hold on. I'm thinking ahead where I might run into issues ahead, and I'm trying to stop problems from happening later on. Okay, and then what we want to do now is sub mode 2 is now take the first member that we selected and move it into the. I gotta think, because we have to keep track of the reference of the previous slot. I'm going to as-diff that. I need to reference the slot that it came from. Okay? So we're going to go integer moving member origin slot. Moving member origin source. And the source is 0. I just need to leave this for myself here. 0 is equal to roster storage, and 1 is equal to corral. Oh, this is where you can run into problems. Source page. Yeah, we need to keep track of the page as well. Uh-oh. I knew this was going to be a little more complicated than I thought. I'm just going to copy those values to make sure that I set them correctly. Um, Ildo, a side note, I've had AI made one function for my Pi game once. Long story short, something about matrix. No, oh, so it didn't initialize a matrix correctly, or it didn't even specify what I was. Is that what the problem was? Jinzo J, do you create a larger game design document for a huge for like a huge to-do list? I have a number of different documents. They all serve different purposes, but I would say if you put all of those documents together, it is a huge document. You have to make a decision. You have to consider the implications of all of your decisions, and you need to write out the implications and the potential ways in which you can expand on all of those design ideas. Okay, so the actual slot. Oh, you know what? See, we can save ourselves a little bit of programming here. If we take that out, put that there, and now we have slot. Be careful with that. Don't override it. It's good fundamental advice, but it's also encompassing. It's hard to account for everything. Um, yeah, I make different documents that are specific to certain things. Like you have the overall concept. That's where you can sort of sit and spitball. Then you have the content. You have a document that's specifically for what the actual things that exist. The like the species of your monsters, the items that should go in a content document. Okay, and the origin source. See how I have a note here? 0 is storage. Let's go ahead and set that to storage. And the page, the source page, is equal to um, I don't know if I set a value for this already. Yeah, roster storage page. Okay, cool, 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 cool. And now I also need to do that for this as well. This is the origin member. If this works first go without any issues, I'm going to be pretty jazzed about it because I knew this was going to be a fair bit of work. Okay. Cooldown. I will watch this later. I hope your developing goes well and you have a good stream. Hey, thanks, Cooldown. I appreciate that. Okay. And the page is roster. I need to define another value to keep track of. We have roster storage page, but we also need the corral, roster corral page. We do need that as well. Because we need to keep track of which corral we're moving our characters to. Okay, that should be fine. Now we can take. I just need to think. Since no, the one I tend to break the document down into chapters so that if others read it, they can go to the part relevant to the work. That's very good. Good thinking. Document design is something that I learned in my software development course, and it is very important, especially if you're working in a team. My map was a matrix, a list of lists. Yeah, that makes sense. If it's a square, then axis order doesn't matter. Once I made a rectangle, the AI code stopped working. Oh, interesting. It was subtle and caused me tremendous pain to debug. Yeah, I can see where that would be really frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna help. I gotta zone in on this for a minute just to make sure I do this correctly. What I do is this. So we're moving it to the roster. Okay. We're putting it in the roster. What I'm going to do first is the new slot. I'm going to copy the new slot to the old one, and then I'm going to use the buffer to put that into the new slot. So I'll do that first. So yeah. This is why I needed this. I knew I was going to need this. I knew I was going to need that. Ooh, I could have messed that up really badly if I didn't do that. So we go from roster to roster. Ooh. And then this one is from no. Coming. There we go. And now, current roster mode. Ooh. Roster mode is equal to 0, and that's from roster to roster, and from roster to corral. I'm going to capitalize that so I'll know it's important. Okay, and now this is coming from corral. I hope this isn't boring to you guys. This is why I didn't really want to do this particular task on stream, because this is really complicated, and it's kind of boring. There's nothing visual. Like the other stuff I was doing, you can see the effect. This has been a lot of coding, and I think it's kind of boring. So I hope this isn't too boring for you guys. Hey, Quincy is random. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming to hang out. We're just chilling here. Earlier, I'll just show you. Oh no, I shouldn't run it because I'm in the middle. No, I'll run it. We'll run it. Let's wing it. Yeah, we're just hanging out. I'll just show you what it looks like right now. This is big brain moment. Um, for me, this is my brain hurts moment because I need to make sure that I don't make a mistake here. Um, oh, those dudes! They were fused into one. What I'm finishing up right now is if we go to ranch, um, what we programmed earlier on stream, we actually show the actual save data, the creatures that are in our stables, and then our creatures that are currently active on the corral. What I'm programming right now, that is all of this spaghetti code that I've been working on. Well, it's not spaghetti. It's organized. It's I just did it in a way that could be better. What I'm programming now is being able to take one character, their set of data, and then move it into the corral, move it around. So hopefully, if I don't muck this up, this should work, and it'll feel really cool that we triumphed over a step that's pretty complicated. Okay, so great. We have four different cases here. We have roster to roster, roster to corral, and then corral from corral to roster, and from corral to corral. There we go. So this now, what we're doing here, this is where we can mess up if we don't pay attention to our logic. Um, okay. Glad you're here, Quincy. Okay. I think I can get this. If I don't mess this up, I think I can get this. So we want the source. What we're going to do is take the target one and use the target one as the source. So from roster to roster, and what we are going to do is this logic here. All right. So this is what the cursor currently is on. Okay. And this is the where it's coming from. Let me make sure I get this right. Okay. I suddenly went blank because I need to make sure I don't mess this up. This is roster to roster. That's my comment. Roster to roster. I'm just going to double check my logic here. Okay. The second one is the one that's being changed. The first one is the source. So the second one is being changed. Okay. Now, moving member origin slot. I think this is correct. I think that's correct. Now, we'll copy and paste that, and we're moving roster to corral. So we have our source, right? The first one is the source, and the second one is the one that is being changed. So now we need to change, that's the source. Creature in party is the one being changed. I think this is correct. Okay. Thanks for the warm welcome. Hey, yeah, it's this is I normally do stuff that's more visual, because it's more interesting for stream. We're gonna be done. Gonna be done with this, I promise. I just need to copy and paste this 2 more times and make sure that I'm assigning these correctly, and then we should see some visual stuff. So here's what we'll do. I'll just copy and paste that just so we can see. So we're going from the corral to the roster. My brain is telling me that I need launch now because I'm. Uh-oh. Okay. No, I know that it's coming from the. I think I did something wrong. Okay. It's going. This is what happens when you I haven't eaten anything today. Well, I had a banana and coffee, but this is what happens when you don't eat enough. Your brain starts asking for pizza. Okay, the second one is the one that changes, and the first one is the source. So if the source is a corral, then this needs to be from the corral. And if it's coming from the corral, we want the moving member origin slot. Moving member origin slot. And it's going from corral to the roster. Creatures in reserve. It should be a little something like that. And if we go from corral to corral, it should go a little something. Should be cursor column plus offset. Creatures in party. Okay. And then after that, we change it back to menu mode 0. So this happens. Now what I'm going to do, I want to make sure that my logic is being reached properly. So I'm going to use a technique I call debug flagging. And this is something that you can do to help you test your logic. It's very useful. I'm going to call that flag A, just so I know that the correct things are happening. And I'm going to say flag B, flag C, just so I know that it's working correctly. Flag D. And D, E, F. Okay. So this lets me know it's going to leave a little debug comment in there to let me know that my code is being accessed correctly. Okay, do data backup just in case. We'll see what happens. Well, actually, no, it's not going to save the data. I don't have it to save the save data right now. It won't permanently change it. We're going to ranch. Okay, I click on it. We have flag A and flag B. Oh, but look at this. My cursor is not moving. And the reason why it's not moving is because I have to tell it when it's changed the menu submode to refresh the cursor. Okay. Let's go up here where we refresh the right. So this is sloppy right now. I actually should, what I should do is take this out because I don't need it in there. That's what I should do to make this function right now. But I'm thinking of in the future, if I need to add more functionality, if I need to add more functionality to that menu mode, I use another menu sub mode. So I'm going to leave this here and I'm just going to, oh, you know what? I can do this. I could say, or menu mode is equal to 1. That's or. So if it fulfills either of those criteria, then it'll update the cursor position. That leaves me room for any other functionality that I want to have later on. Let's run it and see what happens. Okay, I hope this works. Okay, we'll go to Ranch. I'm going to select is Bailey. I press A. So you see my two flags there, flag A and B. Now I can move my cursor. If I go down here, what happens if I press A? Okay, it hasn't shown anything because we remember we don't refresh all this information. We don't update it unless I specifically tell the game to do it. If you tell it to update every single frame, it's going to have a massive performance cost, and it also results in memory damage. That's where your game is going to keep getting worse and worse over time until it crashes. So let's just look at our save data, and the save data will tell us whether or not it's correct. So we should look in element 3, and there's nothing in there. I don't think it worked. But we have flags D and E. So what we'll do now, so it didn't work fully. Something isn't quite right. So we'll have to figure out what it is through the process of elimination. I have some flaw in the logic here. And so what we want to do is refresh. Now we're going to call for that roster to be updated. Refresh. This is the wrong spot, by the way. Refresh roster around. What we're going to do, that needs to be in here, but we see the flags. So we reached flag E. So it says from roster to store. So this was correct. But something about this is not correct. I think we got something wrong. But we'll find out. We'll find out now. Hold on. We can put that here. Let's see what happens. We're going to now do the refresh. Is this going to work? Because it feels like we've all been working on this for hours. That's what this feels like. Okay, we're going to select Isville, and we're going to put him here, and okay. Oh, you know what? I'm missing a step as well. I am missing a step. Let's try and move Dominic. Oh, okay. That one actually worked because we are actually missing a step. So what we haven't done is the member that was stored in the buffer. Remember earlier in the stream I said that someone's going to get erased? That's why I created that buffer. So now what we have to do is take, we are so close, Hex, we are so close. So we're going to take, I think roster to roster is going to work, actually. That's what I think. So the source is the buffer. So now we need to get the buffer, game manager buffer. So remember we stored the first party member in the buffer, and we are going to put him in the new slot. And the new slot is this one, and we want to go to the roster. So we can see that's correct. Okay. Okay. And now this one's going from the roster to the corral. So we want creatures in party. We'll just copy this. Okay. So let's do a test. First, we're going to test this, right? This is what we just did. We're going to move it from one roster slot to another in storage and see if it works. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know why. Because I didn't put that in the. I didn't put that in the. That's why it didn't work. I didn't finish it. Let's see. Dominic will move here. Get in. Oh, it feels so good. Yeah, that feels good. We did it, team. Team, we did it. Oh, that's satisfying. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. This is so satisfying. Oh, that's satisfying. Now what we have to do is make sure it can go into the party. Let's go. That's you guys were here for all of that. That's a lot of work. Oh man. Okay. 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 Yeah. 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 This is what we need now. That is satisfying. Okay. See? Now we have the buffer because the one we want to move is stored in the buffer. This is the from the corral to the roster, which is the reserve. I think we can leave that the same, and from corral to corral. Okay. This one. This one, I think. If we put this here, I think this will work. I think it will work. Quincy, yeah, thank you. Thank you. You guys are absolutely part of it. We're here hanging out. It's given me the power of friendship, allows you to get through difficult code. Seeing a feature come to life is peak dev fulfillment. It's just, and this stuff is stuff that can go wrong, right? This is stuff in the past where I've worked on this for days and I could not get it to work properly. So the fact that we're able to get it to work right off the bat like that is, oh, this is satisfying. Yes. Okay. Now we duped. We just duped, and I'm not even. Honestly, I'm not even disappointed because I love a good dupe. And again, I'm wasting the word love. I really like a good dupe, right? I like a dupe. We just duped Dominic. Can we dupe? Can we dupe Ismail as well? We duped everyone. We did it. Uh, okay. So we need to figure out. I've done something wrong here when we're going from the stables to the corral. Well, they're not imprisoned anymore. Technically, we did it. They're not in prison anymore, and they're duped. Okay, we can fix this. We can fix it. It's going from roster to the corral. So from the reserve into the party, let's go ahead and double check my logic again. The source and the target. The target is the one that will change. The target is the second one is the one that changes. The first one is the source. The second is the one that changes. Second is the one that changes. Yeah, I got it backwards. The second is the one that changes. The first one is the source. That's where I went wrong. Okay. We're just going to cut and paste. This should fix the dupe. How to dupe Goobuddies 2025 not patched. Still working. It's working. It's working. Nice. It's not patched yet. This is satisfying. Okay. That still works? No. No, he duped. Dang. If we move it. Uh-oh. Going back and forth is. Oh, we're duping. Okay. What about my table? We duped my table. Okay. Roster to roster works fine. Roster to corral. Okay. Oh, that's what I got wrong. We're supposed to reference the previous thing. We're both going based on the current column that's selected. So it's this one, moving member origins. Yeah. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I am getting probably like too excited, and I'm probably going to make some mistakes. And I should stop and eat something now because I'm starting to feel the drag here. Um, origin slot needs to come from storage. And if this is storage, that's the origin slot. Origin slot is this, okay? That should be correct. Let's see what happens now. What if we just delete them after coming out of roster? Oh, just let people do however they want. That feels so satisfying. Now we just need to make sure that it's working here. It was duping from corral to roster. That's where it duped. From corral to roster. Okay. I gotta concentrate here. Okay, from corral, yeah, to the roster. Yeah. I'm just gonna put another flag in here and make sure this is the right one. Okay. Actually, sometimes when it's like late at night and I start getting frustrated, I'm just gonna do this. I don't need these flags anymore. These work fine. Okay. I just need to make sure it is saying pizza time. Okay. We're almost done. We're gonna make our way through this. That works fine. But if we take that one and move it there, and I did get pizza time. Okay. Good. So we need to take the first one. The first one is the target. The second one is the one that changes. That's where I've gone wrong. The first one is the target. No, wait. The first one is the source. The second is the one that changes. Yes, that's where I got it. It's the same mistake. Same mistake as up there because I copy and pasted it. And the second one is the one that changes. We can get rid of pizza time. This should work. Okay. Now we also need to change our cursor, right? Like we can't tell that we've pressed A and we're moving, so we need to put something on the screen that says that we're moving. Get in! Get in! That works. I'm amped. I'm so amped right now. Now let's see if this works. Okay, we're going roster to roster. We duped. We duped. I think it's the same issue. From corral to corral. Okay. We did it. This is satisfying. This was not easy. And you can see, so what I refer to, just add a border to signify it's selected. Yes, that's a good idea. I think we'll do that. We'll have some sort of a border and then some sort of message that says select another slot. What I've just done is what I call crashing through or stumbling through. Now, in general, you see earlier in the stream, I was very precise with all of my work, and basically everything worked first go because I'm functioning at a much more precise level. But when it came to this, that I was stumbling through it. I refer to that as stumbling through, and eventually it becomes crashing through, where you just run your program and you just see where you're going to crash. So this is something that tends to happen when you start getting tired as a developer, is you end up stumbling through. That's just, it happens. You're not going to perform at 100% all the time when it comes to programming and developing. So this is something that I should have had a big breakfast actually. So I stumbled through it, but eventually I got through. Let's go ahead and run that. And branch, and it should work now. Get in, get in. Yes. Oh, that is satisfying. Okay. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for hanging out here in the stream. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Oh. So you guys are probably aware that I really, really like monster raising games, and my brain's already locked onto this. My brain just wants to fill this with a bunch of different monsters. Okay. See now, let's see what happens. Ah, that updated. That feels good. That feels so good. At least better than throwing darts in the dark, right? Massive W. This has been a lot of fun. Okay, guys, I'm gonna grab lunch, so I just want to thank you so much for hanging out on the stream. Really, thank you so much. I really appreciate you just coming and hanging out, just having fun and chatting. We're just going to quickly review again the work that we put in. Here's some of the code that we went through to get that functional. Um, this is ugly, but it's elegant in its own way. But there's probably simpler, faster solutions that are more elegant. But this is a simple solution that has problems to it. It can go wrong very quickly. If other people have to work on the game, this is very problematic the way that I've done this. But I'm the only person working on this, so it's okay. Um, there's part of the transfer code and the logic. Yeah, that's just some of the code that we worked on today. There's, you know, a bunch of stuff down here. This is what we worked on today. Uh, this is what we worked on. We also have our obstruction, where objects can turn invisible when they're in front of the camera, and this stuff. That's what we worked on today. Uh, so let's just hang out a little bit. If anyone here is new and hasn't seen much of the game yet, I'll just quickly explain some of it to you. You know, you have your stats for your monsters. This guy doesn't have any actions. This is where you can see their stat growth, any sort of special stuff they have, their needs, their relationship with you. He's kind of resentful towards me because I haven't fed him or ever interacted with him. There will be visuals to the food, so when you select a food item, it'll show them eating the item. You have training as well. Let's give him, weightlifting. So he's weightlifting, but you have to buy more apparatus. See how there's 0 out of 1? I can only have 1 because I've got 1 weightlifting apparatus. If I want other Goobuddies to train that one, I have to buy more training apparatus. You can do that. There's going to be a bunch of other stuff. There's training that can teach you new battle actions. You can interact with your Goobuddies. You can poke him. You can give him a hug. Here's where you can view your eggs. I don't have any programming done for the eggs yet, but this is just like how we did on this stream. At the start of this stream, we had a lot of stub logic. It was just placeholder. And then during this stream, we created the actual functional code. So maybe next time we can program the eggs and we can show the egg values and all of that. Can you put dominant to be displayed? I want to see what they look like. Oh yeah, we can do that. Okay, so there's dominant. So here's what we'll have to do. We'll have to do a little bit more programming in order to do that, okay? So let me just do this here. We'll go like this, okay? We need a value to tell us that the members have been changed. Members changed, okay? I'm going to do this very quickly here. Okay, so when we change to a new menu mode to the roster, we're going to say that members changed is equal to false. Okay, and then let's see, when we refresh the roster, we're just going to say that the members changed is equal to true. And now when we press the B button to exit, what we want to do is if members change. So if the members have been changed, it checks if the members have been changed. What we want to do is refresh our auditionees, and I think I started doing this earlier. And entities. So entities, we want to reset the ranch entities. So that removes all of the visuals from the existing entities. And then we want to set up the entities again. Set up ranch entities here. Okay, that should work. Funny, we have small, but are they supposed to all be breathing in sync? I feel if all breathed at different times, it would look more lively. Funny has left an excellent comment. Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. In the actual game, there will be some randomization of that, so you don't see them all breathing in sync. But you're very astute on that and very perceptive. That is something that breaks immersion, and it looks artificial in a bad way. So I'm glad you said that. That's a very good comment. And yes, in the actual game, basically what you do is you just stagger the starting point at which the characters start their breathing animation, or you change the speed of it. So it's very easy to do. So I'm glad that you noticed that and pointed that out. Also, different species will have different breathing rates as well. So let's just see if the logic that we just put in, it was only a couple lines of code, Let's see if that works. So if, since we've done that, there is now a Boolean value, and that Boolean value should now say the members have been changed. If we exit out of here, it should reset all of the visuals here. Okay? And this is where I should have put flags in. I didn't put flags in, and I should have. Okay. So it did not call these. And I need to see why it didn't call it. So what we're going to do is put a flag in there. Ooh. Flag. I'm just going to say flag pizza because now I'm getting hungry, and that's kind of problematic when you're running low on energy. Okay. See, members changed is true. And actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make members changed public so I can see the value of it here. See, it's private right now. Now it's public, and I can see it. Okay. Where is it? See? When we change a member, we should see a tick mark there. Let's go ahead and go to Ranch. We'll take Dominic, put him in there. So you see there is a tick mark. It says members changed. I'll exit, and it says flag pizza. So it did call these. So that means that this part is fine. There's nothing wrong with this part. The problem is with resetting and setting up. So let's go ahead and see what's going on there. So with reset, I'm going to Control F that. That will find it for me. Control F, and I can see that it's up here. So I is equal to 0. Audition. I'm going to put a flag in here. Debug log flag burger with fried onions. This is not good because I'm obviously very hungry. What platforms again for this game? This will be on Switch, Steam, and then a bunch of homebrew platforms for free, like the 3DS and PS Vita. And if any release that I do that's homebrew is totally free. It's there's no monetization ever for my homebrew stuff, so people can just enjoy it and have fun with it. So let's see. Whoa, okay, I got flag 3 times, 3 times. Okay, so it reset. There were 3 characters, and it called 3 times, which is correct. That's the expected behavior, right? But now there's 4 characters in there, and that one is oh. This is why you should stop working when you're hungry. There's nothing wrong with my code. What's wrong is the gameplay logic. It's expecting a 4th entity, and I don't have a 4th entity. So let me go ahead and add that. Let's have a look at our entities here. This is why you need to stop. I made this mistake the last time we were live streaming, is I kept pushing through it even though I was starving. Um, you make dumb mistakes when you're hungry. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers, blah 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 blah. I know. Okay, this is this music comes from my horror game series. I'm just gonna switch to something a bit more chill now. Okay, let's go ahead and add those references to our other entities 4 and 5. Okay, there we go. GBA, PS Vita, and 3DS on later. Yeah, I'm gonna do versions eventually. It's gonna take time, but I'll do versions for the PSP and the DS. I'll do Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. It's because I love making stuff on homebrew. It's just for me, it's really exciting. Like you can see how fired up I get over making stuff work here. To me, this is fun. It's not my only hobby. I mean, I do homebrew stuff as a hobby. This stuff is commercial work. This is, I earn my living selling games. The homebrew stuff is free. That's a hobby. It's not my only hobby. I do a lot of other stuff. Okay, we're gonna take Dominic and move him there. Okay, and now we should be able to select Dominic. There he is. Mm, it worked. Will the Android version be on the Play Store? Yeah, I'll work on bringing it to the Play Store. I will. Yeah, it worked. Hey, let's give Dominic a mutation. Someone call out a number one through what's the maximum mutation number? 45? Someone call out a number 1 through 45. And we'll move it. We'll give my table one as well. Oh my god, he looks awesome. Ildo, Dominic is yours, right? Okay, Ildo. Oh, funny, funny. Funny called out 23. Okay, so we're going to edit our save data now. So, 36, okay. So let's see, we have two characters in storage. Let's modify our characters in storage. I'll let Ildo call out a number. Ildo, call out a number between 1 and 45. Um, oh, you know what? Funny. 23 will give you, because we have this new guy here, my table. My table came in earlier. My table can have a mutation ID of 23. Okay, so my table comes from Funny. You trust Funny? Okay, okay. Well, Hex. Hex will give 30, 36 on this one. And again, there's a lot of save data, so this is a little sluggish. Okay, hold on. Hex, you can give 36 to my table, and then Dominic. So that's the ones that are in the party. Now we're in the reserve. Okay, Funny called out 23. Someone call out a mutation for Isvale. Oh, this is sluggish. Okay, mutation ID is 23. Funny says 23. Okay. All right. And let's give a mutation to Isvale. So I want to call one in. Am I out of coffee? Oh, I got a little bit of cold coffee left. 31. Nice. Okay. Ildo, we're going 31. And you know what? Let's do something a little bit special. Um, oh, we're going to give Dominic a rare mutation. These are extremely rare. Uh, it allows normally the mutation that's part of the body is the same color as the body, but in very rare circumstances, the mutation can be a different color. So let's go ahead. I think that's supposed to be two, isn't it? Someone call out a number between 1 and 14, and we'll give Dominic a rare mutation. That's supposed to be two. 10. Okay. Hex says 10. We'll wrap this up, and then I gotta grab some lunch. This should work. That'll probably work. Quincy is random. 8? Oh, you know what? Since Quincy is random has chimed in, we'll give Isvale a special mutation as well, so that Quincy can get in on number 8. Special mutation color 2, and Quincy says 8. Did you ever pick up the shows? Um, oh, did you ever pick up the shows with the lady at the bar? What show is that? Are you talking about a TV show? Okay, I will give a special mutation color here. Again, sorry, this is sluggish. The editor here is very slow when all of the save data is open because there's so much information. Oh, what happened to the? Oh, the date that you knew with the bartender. No, she's married. We were just hanging out and chatting. That wasn't a date. In Yeah, when you hang out at bars, you're just there, for friendship and just to chat and hang out with people. And we were just talking about stuff. Uh, I've been so focused on, and I feel guilty about that, right? Because I have the list of the stuff that the bartender told me to watch, and then I keep thinking I should go and watch it. I'm so focused on Goobuddies. When I'm finished with Goobuddies, I'll get to the list of stuff. A few days ago, you had a piece of paper with some shows. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That was just a bartender and I were hanging out, and there was other people there, and they we were all talking about shows, and they could not believe that I had not seen, like Game of Thrones. She was like, "How have you not seen Game of Thrones?" I will get to it. I will watch those shows. But here we go. We're gonna add both Dominic and full party of five. That's it. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah, it worked. It worked. Let's have a look at Dominic. This is Dominic's reputation. He gets a different color on the on that. Oh, this is a rare combination. He's got lightning rods all around. For who is that? Is that my table? Yes. Oh, this is my table. Okay, so Isvael. Oh, Isvael has the mohawk. Yeah, nice. This is it, guys. So, in my mind, the sort of the fun of the gameplay here would be knowing that you've got five dudes here, right? And then in your mind, you're sort of optimizing, like, okay, yeah, training, here we go. I'm gonna train like that, training, and then oh, he's exhausted. Oh, they're exhausted. Uh, I need to update their thing. And then while they're training, you can actually interact with them while they're training. You can poke them, you can hug them while they're training, and then in my mind, you go to your ranch and then you switch over to your next corral, and then you have like your desert corral, and then you have your other five dudes. So it's about like trying to manage your dudes as optimally as possible. To me, I think that's like really fun. So yeah. All right, thanks everyone. Holy crap, this has been we made a lot of progress. Wow, this has been a lot of fun. I personally feel really good because I got a lot of things taken off my task list that I was really sort of not looking forward to. I wasn't looking forward to this here, moving characters around. I wasn't looking forward to that because you guys were here the whole time. You saw how much work it took, so I was not looking forward to that. See, it works. It works. It works, and we did it. So yeah, actually, I'm really appreciative you guys have been hanging out and having fun here because this kind of work kind of sucks. It's not fun, right? Like that stuff, it's a little bit of a bummer. So I appreciate you hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to grab lunch. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Oh, one last thing. RNG is a part of thing, but if I were to desire something, will there be a way to influence it? Yes, absolutely. Hey, Lone Wolfie, good to see you. You got here a little late. We're about to wrap up, but you know what? We made a ton of progress today, and now we have a full ranch of five. We can move characters around. I still need a program changing the stable pages, but you have to buy more stables. You buy stables slots in sets of 20 so that you can have more Goo Buddies, and then you have to buy the other corrals, not with real money, with in-game money. There's no real world monetization here. So you have to build up your ranch so you can have more stuff. Wow, we made a lot of progress. Look at him go. Missed it again. That's all right. We'll stream again pretty soon. Yeah, and you know what? I'll show you some of the species now for those who haven't seen it yet. So how you get Goo Buddies in this game is you start out with an egg, and the eggs are blank. There's no genetic data in the eggs, so you have to take the eggs to different places and expose it to different things in the environment, and then that allows the egg to sort of pick up radiation from the environment, and it builds genetic data based on your adventure with the egg. You can use when you're during battle, you can hold a button down to throw the egg out and then have the egg exposed. So if you see the enemy using an attack and you want the egg to learn that attack, you can throw the egg out and expose it to enemy attacks or your own attacks, and the egg can learn elements and attacks that way. So it's to me, it's just I want to make a fun and interesting way for people to uh, make a Goo Buddy be born. I don't want to keep doing the exact same thing that we've already seen from Monster Race games because it's like, yeah, they're fun, but it would be great to have something just new and exciting. And something like this to me is really exciting because it makes you feel like, what else can you do? What else can be possible? So that kind of thing to me is really exciting. That's cool. Proximity mutations, absolutely. The more mutations, like the more radiation you expose it to, the more wild its mutations can become as well. So to me, it's when you have the egg, you've already started your relationship with that buddy. You've already started going on adventures with it, even though it hasn't hatched yet. And what it becomes as a goo buddy is because it's gone on an adventure with you, because you helped it become a goo buddy. And that's the kind of experience that I want this game to be about. Is that you feel like it's your bud, it's your pet. You know, I'll share some of the species with you. So these are your flying dudes. There's your young form, and then it can turn into a bunch of different things. This is one of the first designs that I came up with, and of course the colors are not set. The colors are tied to the element, and the element is decided based on how you expose the egg to different things. So this isn't always white. It can be earth type and it have rocks all over it. It can be plant type and it can have leaves on it. This was one of the very first designs I came up with for Goobuddies when I was doing. I actually did do concept art early on for some of the designs, but then later on, I just started making stuff in my sculpting program. So this one has a little special place in my heart because in my mind, this is a goo buddy. There's two specific designs that in my head, that's a goo buddy. It's this guy. Actually, no, there's three. So it's this guy, which is called Balloon. It's this guy. I need his arms are a little too big. I actually need to adjust it. And this guy. Those three designs, to me, if you were to ask me what are the Goobuddies, I would pick those three. In my head, when I was thinking up of this concept, I was thinking, yeah, these are it. These are the guys. These are the Goobuddies. And I mean, look at this guy's smile. Just look at him. They're all so cute. Um, this one, oh, no, and actually, this one, he wasn't one of the first designs, but I would say he's one of the first, but not the first. Uh, I had to come up with a bunch of designs like these first, and after it took a couple of weeks, and then I realized the creative potential of the Goobuddies. I didn't understand how much I could do creatively with them until a couple of weeks later, and that's when I came up with this guy. And after I came up with this guy, I thought, oh wow, there's so much cool stuff that you could do with the idea of a goo buddy. And eventually, I eventually, came up with guys like this. And this guy's meant to be pretty big. It's his species name is Titan. You know, um, this is one of the later designs. It's tightrope. I actually need to this his main body needs to be a little taller, so I need to adjust that. So some of these are unfinished. Um, and then towards the end, I came up with some ideas like a table. Um, this is one of my favorite designs because it's so weird. It's so dumb, and I love it. Um, Crab actually. Oh, Crab! I just made like I didn't do concept art. I just started sculpting it, and I thought, whoa, this dude, this dude is sick. This one's unfinished. This is multi-tail. It's unfinished. I'm probably gonna work on that later this week. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. These designs make me laugh. That's mainly why I made them, is they kind of make me laugh. But of course, you have your cool dudes. I think this dude's pretty rad. This thing's kind of creepy, the big spider thing. This one's unfinished, so enjoy taking a look at the prototype because this is going to disappear pretty soon. But the final version will be uh, much better. Well, I'll say this is my favorite design, the multi-mega. I just love this. Yeah, and I came up with designs like this when I realized what creative stuff you could do with the idea of a Goo Buddy. And then I'm really proud of this design. It's such a simple design, but it's one where I'm so yeah, I'm proud with how it turned out because they each have a little distinct facial expression. This dude's angry. This dude's so happy. A little bit worried. This guy, This guy's like shocked, surprised. Yeah, I'm really happy with how these turned out. This one, this gives me some uh, dread, a little bit of existential dread because there's he's inside the other's mouth. It's all in one. You know, he's a goo buddy. That's what a goo buddy is. But you know, I just think it's hilarious. I think that's funny. Will there be a player character model? Honestly, unnecessary. It's first person. There is no player character model, though I do want to do games. If people really like this, if this sells well, I have plans for more games in the series, and that's where I will have the player play as a character model running around. Yeah, yeah, no microtransactions. Microtransactions are just they take the fun out of everything for me personally. So yeah, in the future I do want one where you're running around an open world environment and then you're collecting goo buddies that way. I forgot to point out this guy. Oh man, this one makes me laugh. I made this design just because I thought of the idea. This would have been a late night, like 1:30 at night, and before going to bed, I'm in the office and I'm just thinking of something, and I thought, you know, what would make me laugh. I'm gonna make this guy, and it's gonna make me laugh. Uh, and I came up with this, and I'm so glad I came up with that design. So, yeah, those are the Goo Buddies. A couple of them are unfinished. I do need to still work on them a bit more. I think it would be cool if the player character in Goo Buddies 2 could evolve like the eggs. Wouldn't that be cool? There's going. I've already planned other types of gameplay for Goo Buddies, so it's not a matter of oh, you know, let me try and do something different. I've already planned ahead, so um, when I want to expand the series with more gameplay, I'm already prepared for it. Guy is a little slime copter. That makes me laugh. This thing. This is a claw machine. Yeah, we've never seen one where the protagonist evolves. You're kind of right with Wolfie. Anyway, thanks very much for hanging out on the stream. Thank you, everyone. It's been so much fun. I really appreciate that. You've made this part of the job way less grindy, because what we did, all hanging out, making the code here, is very grindy. Um, so I really appreciate you hanging out. Hey, Justin the actor. Oh wait, thanks for coming to hang out. We're actually just wrapping up now. I'm sorry, we're wrapping up so soon. So yeah, those are the couple of species, and then just before we wrap up, we'll go over the stuff that we finished on stream today. We got a lot of work done, Justin the actor. We did a lot of grindy stuff here in terms of programming. It wasn't fun, but it was interesting because we got to hang out and chat while I was doing it. Yeah, you can join the Discord. I'm not sure where the link is. I'll have to find it. Yeah, what we worked on today was the ranch. I'll try and find the. I'm not sure where the Discord link is. Yeah, so what we did today, uh, we programmed the ranch menu here. So these are your stables. You can have up to 600 Goo Buddies that are in your stables. So they're not actively training, they're just in the stables. You can have 5 active in your corral, and you can have 5 corrals. So you can have 30 Goo Buddies that you're raising simultaneously, but we programmed this menu here. Oh, we didn't finish it. We'll do this next time. What we didn't finish is displaying the actual stats. So when you highlight a Goo Buddy, it should show you their stats. We'll do that next time. But we programmed this where you can actually move them out. You can actually take them out of storage. People in the chat here we edited the save data, so people in the chat caused some Goo Buddies to be born. So I'm going to take these 2 out of storage, out of the stables. We're going to put them in the party, and then you'll see that they appear here in the party. We also made it so that when you go to the stats and view them, the camera will move over and view them. And then we made it so that if the tree gets in the way, that the tree will turn invisible so that it doesn't block the camera. We should see that become active here. See that? And these are the two more extra Goo Buddies that were born from the chat. This should work for Discord, I think. We do have a Discord. I don't know the link off the top of my head. I'm so bad at the internet. I'm bad at social media and Discord. But yeah, I hope you'll hang out in the next video. Okay, Justin the actor, keep a lookout for my next upload. And in my next upload, in the description for that, I'll put a link for the Discord. Because I don't have it on me. I don't know it off the top of my head. And I'm surprisingly bad at the internet. Okay. All right. I'm going to grab something to eat. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out. You've made this part so much more tolerable, and it was a lot of fun today. All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks. Lunchtime for me. I'll see ya. And say good night to Chunky, Pablo, My Table, Dominic, and Ismail. I'll see you guys. Good night. Tried to post a link, but it looks like YouTube deleted it. Okay. I have to find it. I don't know where it is. We'll figure it out. I'll find it. Okay. I'll see everyone. Thanks again. Appreciate it.